And you should be on.
Boom.
There we go. So anyway, good enjoyment of the remaining of the race.
Indeed,
With
yeah.
3 hours to go. And, well, now that you are here, apparently things are sparkling, so good for the viewers too.
I've brought the trouble with me. Typical Scotland.
Yeah.
There we go.
But yeah, I hope everyone had a good time here with me leading the commentary. And in any way, you will be hearing me in not too much time. And in the meantime, it is going to be John Wright that will go on for the commentary for the 6 hours of Valencia.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, John.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christian. Phenomenal coverage once again from the Italian wonder himself. He'll be off feet up. And now that I've brought all the trouble, Christian's easy shift is done and dusted. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, Christian. And yeah, great job at the start, mate.
Okay. See you next time.
See you next time. So there we go, Christian Romano, aka Mr. Chromatics himself. But it is me, John Wright, aka Double O Raven, taking you through to the finale of the race. Welcome in one and all. We've got 3 hours left. We've had all the fun of the fair so far. With a few of the drivers breaching those track limits. Let me just quickly share the stream around as well, in fact. See if we can't get some more eyes in as well. There we go, and put this in there as well. Well, welcome in everyone. Thank you to everyone that's transferred over from the initial broadcast, the first half of the race, brought to you, of course, by Christian Romano. We are here for the final 3 hours of the Coach Dave Delta, 6 hours of Valencia from the FRL Endurance GT3 2024 series. Coach Dave Delta, you can experience seamless setup management with Delta. It is perfect for Assetto Corsa Competizione and iRacing players looking to optimise. We do have audio, just checking that. Looking to optimise their performance, unlock the fundamental rules of driving, improve your lap times, and take a huge step in consistency. Never Lift has been developed by some of the most experienced drivers and coaches in sim racing and is guaranteed to take your driving skills to the next level. To learn more about it, head over to coachdaveacademy.com/delta and get yourself signed up. Thank you very much to the series sponsor. It is the 3rd round of the series this year. We've seen, of course, Hungaroring and Donington. Suzuka next time out, and then it is the Red Bull Ring, newest addition to the ACC track stable, and a worthy inclusion, to say the least. We still have a strong field out, 45 cars still out and running. Up at the top it is FRL leading the way in second. It's RNM Flat Out Esports team, only 7 seconds down the road. We've got Vestasport in third. And 4th position, Jakob Schaber, the MSR, and Hololive 5th. CTM team got the Bentley in 5th position. Great to see the Bentley doing well. Melker Garby for FRL, 2 cars in the top 6 for the hosts. Not too bad at all. And Jay Brooker for Turbo and Simracing in 7th position. Thomas Lanier behind the wheel of the BMW for GTR Masters, their endurance team, in 8th place. Martin Ulrich in 9th for McLeod Racing. Hayden Harter and the team, TSE Racing, the Phoenixian car, in 10th position at the minute. Matteo Cusimano for Vesta, 3 cars in the top 11, not too shabby. And in fact, they've got a car in 12th as well, dominating. Henry Handy for Remnant Racing in 13th place, with FRL in 14th position. Nico Feldman behind the wheel for them there. We've got RNM Flat Out, 2 cars in the top 15. That is exactly right. Federico Terrone behind the wheel of the number 5 BMW. Van Eck behind the wheel for the ERA Esports Audi, car number 72. Then it is Yannick Timesh, West Competition Racing. Yeah, multiple cars taking part in multiple competitions today, right across this grid and across the sim racing sphere. Confused as to why their livery hasn't worked, but we'll crack on. Chase Gordon, TSC Racing, their Project D car, finding itself at the moment in 18th place and still inside the top 20 after 3 hours. It is the Eagles Esports team in a Porsche. The first appearance of a Porsche on the grid so far. Just behind them in 20th position is Astro Racing's Cody Besseling, the Team V car in 20th position. As I say, we've still got, we actually lost the car. We are down to 44 since I joined in. A couple of penalties throughout the field as well. An Altonar racing there in 43rd. Simtech Racing down in 42nd. Derek Bruff out for FRL Racing. He's just taken over from James Williams. 41st position, Neil Woodward and Sergio Osorio down the back of the field as well. So yeah, I'll have to see what happened there. Tice Payne we saw lose quite a few positions. Sam Vaughan as well for the Tri-State Racing team, down 17 positions so far, so well out of position. Tim Coles, the Run DJC team, actually saw a couple of contacts with the BMW. Down in 23rd position, going to need to find some pace though, and pops into the pits. Just over the halfway mark, just as that pack were closing in. Thomas Nopek still very handily getting it done up at the front of the field. Let's see a bit of front splitter cam for the race leader. The championship standings. There we go, is what I was looking for. Yeah, with Vesta, FRL and McLeod Racing leading the way. Let's have a look. Oh, need to put that into live chat. Make sure that is up and running. Yeah, but remember as well, you can turn the stream quality up to 2K. It's currently running at 1080, but yeah, if you do have a 2K monitor, do turn it up. Get to see the beautiful graphics. A lot of cloud overhead as well, and it is a very cold track already. 6 PM in the evening, so it's going to be 9 o'clock at night when the race finishes, so it's going to get a lot colder. We can see the lap times tumble as well. Nopek and the Chira both lapping fairly equilibriously. There's a drive-through for track limits down in 16th place. That is Timech for West Competition. One too many trips over the track limits, and that is going to be another trip into the pits. And yeah, comes in to serve it straight away. Hayden Harter into the pits for his stint timer. We'll see if there's a driver swap there, but Harter and Timich in. Another couple of cars into the pits as well. Tobin's picked up a penalty for drive-through for track limits as well. Confirmation there, 2 laps left to serve that. That's the Astro Racing team. They've just been into the pits as well for a driver swap. So Tobin coming out, breaching the track limits once, but that's enough to get the car that extra trip into the pits. Harry Witter for TSR1. The BMW looking very quick at the moment. He's got Manuel Novak ahead of him in the Porsche. They've got a back marker just involved there as well. Let's see how good the onboard looks. There we go. So Witter for TSR1. And that's is the BMW on the inside. That's Davidson getting himself involved. So Witter unable to get the overtake done on Novak, and that has let Wegmans through. So a phenomenal move there. Very, very opportunistic, and exactly how it was done in endurance racing. While the rest of the field are battling. Oh, and he's going straight back for it. Oh, has he got that one? He was a bit squirrely under braking there. I think he backed right out of that one. Was going for a brave move in at the final corner. Couldn't quite pull it off, but He's given Davidson a bit of a slip behind him. We've got Wessels in for a stop, go 30 seconds, speeding in the pit lane. That is not a good way to start the second half of the race. A few penalties coming in from the stewards as well. We'll see them tally up at the side of the drivers. They'll of course be served in the pit stops. Their next available pit stops. They've got plenty of pit stops to take. Oh, well, in saying that, my apologies. No, we don't have plenty of pit stops to take. There's 3 hours left of the race. Any teams pitting now will only have one more left to take, but Wessels and Tobin both in the pits for penalties, and they have fairly been stacking up since I jumped in. Valencia, of course, most famously known as MotoGP track, hence where a lot of the corner names have come from around here. The Circuit Ricardo Tormo, Curve Duin. Oh, and there's more penalties coming in as well. Shibo comes into the pits for a mandated pit stop. Although it might be a bit short on time there actually. Looking at it with 65-minute stint timers. In fact, let me just check that because I did get that slightly wrong. So let me just make sure I don't make that same mistake again. Let us... let's cheat a little bit. Yeah, 65-minute stint timers. As you can see, Ricardo Bissana got 3.5 minutes left of their stint and got race leaders. That's why he came up on the camera there. Ooh, and that is all over the place for the Ferrari on the exit there. Absolutely trying to get the power down far too early there as McLeod Racing go firing past in the Aston Martin, but that was a big lock-up moment there, and I'm sure that was just as much of a fright to the drivers going past as it was Martin Ulrich. It was, in fact, trying to get the move done, almost finding himself in the back seat of one of the back markers. Thomas Lanier, my apologies, is the driver ahead in the BMW. We can see just how close the Aston Martin is getting at the minute. Ulrich really pressing to get back up into 6th position. Top 3 in the championship, so they'll be looking for another good result as Jay Brooker in the Honda comes in to the pits as well. And so too does Thomas Lanier. So Lanier in the pits, Brooker, as you can see, in the pits. That's my apologies, that's not where I meant to go. That's where I meant to go. Martin Ulrich. Cruises through turn number 1, he definitely stays out. Timish is back into the pits as well. This one for a mandated stop rather than a penalty. We've got Leon Wessels for QRT Esports down in 35th. Picked up a penalty as well. Got more pit stop action. Jack Davidson for T1SR. In fact, a train of cars making their way in. I'm not getting full. Oh no, wait a minute. There we go. Yeah, slightly better look, but yes, confirmation race leader is now Mattia Nachira for Flat Out Esports. Thomas Nopek into the pits from the lead. So that is 3 hours and 12 minutes in, so it looks like they've gone just over the hour mark for each of their opening stints. So yeah, if they manage another hour and 5 minutes here, that'll leave them, what, an hour and a half to go? Yeah, so still slightly over. But yeah, so a very short stint at the end. It looks like it's going to be for Nopek. They might split the last hour and a half into a straight 2 or try and run the car for an hour and 5 minutes again. We'll see what the decision is when we get to the closing shootout. It's Flat Out Esports then. Flat out up at the front. Jakob Schaber has got the MSR car up to 2nd position. Oh no, has he? Is Thomas Nopek back out ahead of him? Let's just wait and see here actually. Yeah, no, Schaber is ahead. And we'll find out in a moment if Nopek... Oh, drive-through for track limits, another one being picked up. Oh, that's Davidson. He's just come into the pits. I wonder if that was a pit lane violation on the way in. Maybe crossed the line. But yeah, there's a drive-through. Some more penalties coming in as well. Tassinazzo, 37th place at the minute. The FMP Italia car, 20 seconds of penalty in the next pit stop. Sergio Osorio down to 38th, got 15 seconds to serve as well. Halverson down at the back of the field, 10 laps down. Von Kidrowski for an Altiner Racing in the Ferrari, 43rd. Placed 9 laps down as well. Tucker 7 laps down, so too Corvig, but still out and running. Neil Woodward makes back a position there as Vaughan comes into the pits. Woodward up a spot by virtue of that as well. Tom Wegmans makes his way into the pits. Look, there he is. No, it's not. There he is there. Timon Wegman. It's Mark de Munich taking over for Gazelle Motorsport. As you can see, Run DJC just making their way through. Oh, and that's contact on the way out. On the way out of the first corner there. That one, I'd imagine, will get looked at by the stewards as well. Astro Racing Team B, Tom Curtin, 22nd position. Got Walsh and White not far ahead. In 18th, there's Van den Berg. With Chase Gordon handing over to Alexandre Larocque. Another couple of penalties being handed out there. Remo speeding in the pit lane for the Vesta Sport teams. We've also got another drive-through being handed out for track limits violations. They are fairly racking up now. It's Tucker down at the back of the field. They're just about to come in the pits to take their pit stop, but that is a drive-through for them. No such issues for the race leader. Do have blue flag traffic to make their way through, but making their way through comfortably they are at the minute. It has to be said, Thomas Nopek got the fastest lap of the race under his belt, and he's got the lead of the race fairly firmly. Seglia doing his best to catch up, but that gap still maintained at 6.2 seconds for Nopek, and I don't imagine it's going to decrease any based on the lap times that the two of them are putting in. Seglia for RNM. There is a drive-through for track limit violations. That is for Samuel Simoncelli. Another Vesta Sport car, sorry, picking up a drive-through. They've got 3 laps to serve this one. Tucker into the pits. Simoncelli goes past Parks, but while Parks in the pits, but that'll be a position regain. Tice Payne into the pits for a drive-through as well. Is going to catch it back up, so these drive-throughs means there's going to be some incredibly close battles when the final pit stops are taken. Ramo comes in to take that penalty, and Nopek has made his way past the back markers. There is another drive-through. It is Larocque for TSE. Duconi picks one up. Wow, the Valencia track limits really are doing a number on the drivers at the minute, it has to be said. Good evening, good evening. We've got Dell in the chat, not happy with his run. Just did a Discord ping, says James. James, how was your stint? Oh, and there's another drive-through for track limits, wow. I knew Valencia was rough, but I was going to give Circuit the Americas a run for its money. It's Neil Woodward comes straight in the pits to serve that. And yeah, just on the halfway mark. So yeah, picking up a drive-through for breaching the track limits enough times to get a drive-through in the first half of the race means there's enough time to get one in the second half as well. A few of the drivers might need to just quell the racing urge to make sure they make it to the end. Manuel Novak comes into the pits. Yeah, Valencia, an interesting track to say the least. I've mentioned it is predominantly known as a MotoGP track. The GT3 cars certainly have raced here, but it is a very tricky one for the GT3s to make their way around, as is being proven time and time again by the drivers out on track. It is a a lot of drive-throughs as Laroque comes in to serve his. Thomas Nopek, since that pit stop, is absolutely flying. Shelteglia now struggling to keep pace. The gap up to 8 seconds. Rebecca now 21 seconds down the road, and Marco Zuccari for Vesta Sports. They're running third and fourth. And that is one of the T1 SR cars just behind them, so not for position. They've got a 9-second gap back to Murasaki. Oh wow, and it's just gone from bad to worse for car 55. So they've come through the pit to serve. Now, I don't... okay, so my apologies. I don't know whether it just came back in. My pit wall live hasn't fully updated yet. I'll get it open in a second. They've missed their stint timer and their bonnet's missing, so I'm wondering if that they missed the stint timer because they came in to serve the drive-through for track limits, or they missed the stint timer because they went off track and got some damage. There is... oh, wait a minute. As I say that, let's have a look and see what's happened here at Woodward. Oh, it is. Oh, there we go. Back of the car just said no thank you. Oh, sorry, the back of the car said yes please. The front of the car said no thank you. The heart absolutely breaks as Neil Woodward picks up a stop-go 30-second for speeding in the pit lane. That is salt and vinegar being poured into the wound there for the FRL team. I'm not really sure there's much better way to describe that. That's salt, vinegar and everything else being poured into that wound there. Laroque back out of the pits. Within 0.3 of a second of Slutal ahead of him. Marco Keddy's behind the wheel for FRL in 14th position. We've got White and Varziotis battling for position as well. For some reason that keeps flickering. Let me just check that this is working. Hopefully it is. Let me just quickly sort that out and that out. Boom. Excellent. Oh, Thomas Wall, Simtech Racing, completely stationary in the final few corners. This corner has been an absolute hotbed of contact since I've been in, and yeah, no contact there on the way out. Here comes the Honda up the inside. Oh, okay, that's... well, you don't see that every day. Hopefully everything's okay. It looks like some kind of technical failure on someplace along the line. Stationary in the middle of the track. Oh, they're moving again. So whatever ailed them, Walsh has managed to get the Simtech car moving, not before losing a position to Alexandra Laroque. Just out the pits for TSC Racing, the Project D car. Looking to get back up to 19th if possible. Position currently being held by Astro Racing's Tom Curtin. Inside that top 20 we've got Lanier, who is now being followed by Leclerc. So Leclerc taking over for Hayden Harter. Thomas Lanier still just up the road. That is also Lita, that's a back marker. So that is not the battle I was looking for. Wow. So Thomas Lanier does have a Ducati car behind him, but it's not the one that was chasing him for position before the pit stops. That is their second car. It's clear a bit down the road at the minute. We'll see if he can catch up. We've got Liam Knott for T1SR crossing the line in the Honda. Within 2 seconds of Benjamin Eck ahead of him. That is a battle that could be brewing for the end of the stint as well. So we'll see how those two got on. Let's see if Walsh can retake the position from Laroque. Was ever so slightly wayward, and it did cost him the position as the BMW. Unhappy with the defensive move there. That is up in 9th place then. Thomas Lanier Ah, okay, so that was a back marker, yeah, just popping out the way at the last second. I think Tamas got himself a bit of a fright. He has safely made his way through. The TSE Decone car follows through as well. Both making their way very quickly past Rebecca. Still in the top three with Johnny Manasaki for MSR. Still running in 5th position as well. Oh, and we've got cars stationary. We have got cars very much stationary. T1 SR with the Porsche behind. In fact, I saw the Porsche take off. So and again, exactly the same corner. We're seeing so much contact into that corner. I'm not sure exactly what it is that's catching the drivers out, but something is certainly difficult for them to comprehend in there at the moment. And yeah, rear contact is very much been a thing through there. As we've got another car off track. I think that was a back marker just popping themselves out of the way as Larocque chased down by Walsh. They've got Schleitel just ahead of them. In fact, let's see if we can see just how close they are. The Gazelle Motorsport Porsche is going to have to be very Gazelle-like if he's going to escape the Aston and the McLaren chasing them, although a phenomenal exit out of the last corner could certainly afford them a lot of space. Run DJC picking up a drive-through for track limits. 3.5 hours into the race and they're really stacking up. Another drive-through. It's Walsh. Walsh on screen at the minute has just picked up a drive-through for turn 1 track limits. Yeah, so the Porsche is going to have one less car chasing them very shortly. Walsh and Coles both picking up drive-throughs. It is going to be a really, really, really long 2.5 hours for some of these cars, it seems, given the number of penalties that we're seeing handed out so quickly at the minute. You've got to think there's even more teams out there that have got 2 to 3 warnings already, so they really are going to have to cool their jets. Yeah, especially now with the number of teams that have actually taken penalties, it's definitely worth making sure you don't pick up any, so you can gain some time back and gain some positions on the teams that are. So 2.5 hours still to go, and the pit crew are going to see more of the cars. And some of the spectators are. Tom Curtin actually 19th place, seems to have dropped down. There's Walsh coming in to serve that penalty. Samuel Simoncelli. He is getting very close to Munich as well. And there is the Honda that we keep seeing every time we turn around. The Honda making an appearance. Good to see it mixing it up at the top. That is, of course, Liam Knott for T1 SR. There is one of the drive-throughs clear. Tom Curtin looking very quick. That's not Curtin. There he is there. And I think he's got the overtake done. Indeed he has. Let's have another look at that one from Helicam. The Astro Team B car. Eyeing up Varzotis. Oh, in fact there was a contact there on the rear end at Concertina. Both of them almost brought the R&M Ferrari right into the battle as well, so that isn't the overtake. Oh, the Honda's just driven off track, sorry. Yeah, so the 72 just taking a trip off track and letting them past, and quite a few cars making it past. Is that Halverson? That's jumped over to the wrong car. That's Halverson down at the back of the field. Got more yellow flags up at the front. We've got a couple of invalidated laps as well, so that means that a couple more track limit violations. Track warnings have been handed out. The drivers and teams fairly stacking them up at the minute. Yeah, they really are. I wonder if we've got any up at the top for NOPEC. Yeah, Daniel Remo. So still running. 13th position in Vestasport, and they have had a drive-through penalty so far. They are the car furthest up the grid. So yeah, just goes to show you how close the field still is with 3.5 hours to go. They've served a drive-through and they're still Up in the top 13, Marco Kerry for FRL, the car chasing them at the moment. LaRock losing a bit of time to Sleutel then. Down there in 21st position as well. That is an ever-extending gap at the moment. I've got a couple of yellow flags coming up as well. Just drivers moving out of the way to let the blue flags through. We'll pop that on to there and that onto there. Okay, there we go. I've got two different chats open. That's why. And that was for deliveries earlier. Perfect. That is Mark Declare out on track, took over, as I say, from Hayden Harter, TSE Racing, their Phoenician car. Currently running in the top 10, still got a good gap to the car behind. And now with the BMW just in front, but not the BMW they're looking to chase. That is 36th position just ahead of them. Thomas Lanier showing a clean pair of heels after that pit stop, finding a big gap over his main competitor, Samuel Simoncelli for Vestasport, within 4/10 of a second of Tassinazzo. Let's see if there's an overtake carved out here. It's to head through 7 and 8. Oh, bit of a glitch there. Don't know what's going on there. Simoncelli has... No, Simoncelli is still out on track. Sorry, a bit of a glitch here. It was showing... yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not changing the camera there, but Simoncelli, I'm not sure if there's a problem with their connection. It keeps showing them as jumping back to the pits. Yeah, just like that. Very strange. Very strange. Thomas Nopek still getting the job done up at the front, 135 laps in. Oh, wow, that's a whole lot of sideways there. He's won't be at the top long if he keeps driving the car like that, surely. We'll go into Forbidden Chase Cam and have a look and see just how that played out there. Throwing the Mercedes over the curbs at will. Taps on the brakes, or jumps on the brakes even. Turns the car in. Oh, he would really buzz out wide there. Oh, good catch. Yeah, good catch there by the race leader. 11 seconds he's now got over RNM, with Rebecci for Vestasport still in third position. Liam not looking to improve on his position in the top 10. We've seen the Honda go past plenty of blue flags. Now chasing down Benjamin Eck ahead of him. Eck holding on to 6th position, as we see another back marker popping themselves out the way. All four wheels on the gravel there, sorry. Not going to do much for their grip into the next few corners. 16-degree track temperature now, so once the drivers get their tyres up to PSI, they should be putting in some very, very, very quick laps. The track temperature down 2 degrees in less than an hour. Yeah, if it keeps going like this, it's going to be icy cold out there. Benjamin Eck looking in the rear view mirror, seeing Liam Knott in the Honda closing in behind him. Can he get the overtake done there? LaRock closing in on Sleutel some more again. That gap down to 6/10 of a second now, in fact, for 20th and 21st position. Varzoitzes. Oh, is that someone? Okay, so we've got some back markers just getting themselves out of the race. Sleutel and LaRock still at 6/10 apart. Let's have a look. Let's see where they are. And Tobin down in 28th position, actually, has just got an overtake done on Coles. Let's see if we can have a look at that one on a replay. Yes, indeed, I think we can. So into turn number 1, they're on DJC. Yeah, had to lift there because he was off the track. Don't want to be picking up the track limits. That's cost them the momentum, and the Astro Mercedes takes the apex and the position. Handy, handy work from the Mercedes driver, and that is a position back to the good for Tobin. Astro Racing back up to 27th position. Next on the list it will be the battle ahead between ERA Esports and TSR1. As you can see, Lopez having a look up the inside of turn number 1. We can see the back marker. Oh no, sorry, that's not back markers ahead. That is for position as well. Conway right in this battle. The Simtech Racing car, 24th position. Got Witter and Lopez. So half a second separate. You see, has a big look up the inside then. The Audi driver makes his way through very handily. Good work on the brakes and the accelerator. The Audi completely outgunning the BMW at every phase of that corner there. And it is Conway who will now be chased down by Lopez. Witter down into 26th position. Confirmation there on the timing tower. Very close indeed. Good use of the traffic as well. A massive part of how to do well in an endurance race, Fabian Carner's there, is indeed how you interact with the traffic. Jumping on board with the Advisor car, chasing down Knuckles there. Very nice livery on the Porsche. Jones being hunted down by the Advisor team. 30th position, sorry, 29th position for Jones. In fact, Witter and Lopez are still going nose to tail. Oh, and that's the McLeod Racing car up at the sharp end of the grid, coming past in the top 10. So Witter backing right out with this one, letting the blue flag go through the TSR. McLaren doing exactly the same. Lopez and Conway still battling for position. Lopez moving out of the slipstream. I would assume he was going to let the blue flag through there. Moves right over, and yep, McLeod Racing do make their way through. They do end up on the outside line though. Lopez might have cost himself a bit too much time. Oh, and he's almost made contact there. He's had to adjust the car completely, and he's got very lucky there as Conway is deciding to let the blue flag through at exactly the same time the TSR car comes past as well. So that is Witter retaking the position from Lopez. So Witter, again, you don't have to be right up at the front of the grid to make the most of the traffic coming through. Following through, one of the faster cars as well can put you in a good position, and that's exactly what's happened to Witter there in the BMW, up to 25th position and at the expense of Lopez. Still very close between the four of them. Larocque is still in the same boat as well. No way past Sleutel at the minute. Fabian Carner in 30th position, still chasing down the Porsche as well. So a good couple of battles still going on down the field. Thomas Nopek just going past the TSE car. Seglia now 12 seconds down the road. Rebecca a bit further back as well, it has to be said. Liam Knott has closed right up to the back of Benjamin Eck. And this is going to be a titanic struggle. Eck going defensive early, trying to send Liam around the outside if he can. Liam potentially trying a bit of a cutback there. Gets a good rotation on that curve, maybe a bit too good, couldn't quite get the power down. But the McLaren and the Honda absolutely dueling out through the middle phase of the lap on that corner exit there. Eck really using the curves, almost unsettled the car, but did manage to hold it. Oh, that's maybe a bit deep from Liam Knott. Yep, you could hear the tyres squealing there and see the extra input on the steering wheel required to keep the car going in the correct direction. That is going to give Eck a temporary, a very short window to catch his breath and rebuild. Both of them having a bit of a wiggle on the exits to 8 and 9 to make their way through the very gentle chicane. We've seen a couple of cars, quite a few cars in fact, making contact on their way through that corner. Nothing doing for these two. All very precise. Still got 2 hours and 20 minutes to go. Slight yellow flag there as well. Let's have a look and see. Okay, on the way out of the pits. Yeah, so straight back to the pits. I'm not sure What's going on there? Sorry, I looked away for a second as well as that was running. We've got Alexander Larocque for TSE Racing. Still chasing down slightly, 8/10 of a second there, and Lopez still looking quick as well. As well as Hajo Horman there, 22nd position, half a second. In fact, 7/10 he's got to Vartsiotis in the Audi, but they've got a 5-second penalty as well, so we'll be keen to try and get an overtake done on track before the next round of pit stops, much like Kieran Lopez. Still got Witter ahead, phenomenally close. Let's jump on board and see how smooth the Audi driver can be behind Witter in the BMW. Into the infield section once again. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there, just the minutest extra steering input there from Lopez. That's keeping that one running nicely right on the back of the rear bumper on the way through the corner. On the exit, the BMW is going to need to be unbelievably smooth, opening up the steering, heavy on the brakes once again. Oh, this corner exit here is absolutely a killer. We've got car 254 completely stationary on the track as well. Let's have a look and see. That is Marko von Kudrowski. Had a bit of an issue, it's causing a yellow flag at the side of the track. Back moving now that some cars, so yeah, it was just holding their brakes to let the rest of the car through. Lopez looking for a move into turn 1 potentially, backs out of it, wasn't close enough to be fair. Would have been a full send, and yeah, 90% chance of contact on that one. Oh, and again, or not again, sorry, does go full send on this one. Have they both made it through? Oh, round the outside, Lopez is going to try and go. Good defensive work from Witter to fend off the advances of the Ferrari. They do have the 71 to fend off the Honda, sorry. That's a Ferrari that is behind them that caught my attention there. Kieran Lopez still chasing then. Oh, and there is a drive-through for track limits. It's been a while since we've seen one, to be fair, but it has been another top 10 driver that has picked one up. Johnny Murasaki for the MSR team, and they come straight into the pits to serve that penalty. Yeah, definitely, especially at this stage of this. 2 hours and 19 minutes to go. There's only about 20 minutes left until the next round of pit stops based on what we've seen. Yeah, you don't want to end up the FRL car it was that got themselves ended up breaching the track limit time and picking up a drive-through for that as well. Definitely not what you want to be doing. Riccardo Bassena taking over from Simoncelli, I believe, on Kudrowski, down in 41st position after recovering from some kind of off-track incident, so I'm stationary at the side of the road. The Long Smile Porsche currently running in 30th position. Tice Payne being into the pits for a drive-through. At this point, there's another drive-through. So we've seen a few laps where we haven't had any, and there's another one just come in. It's Leclerc in the top 10. Another car in the top 10 picking up a drive-through. It is Leclerc for TSE. Has picked up a drive-through. That is definitely not what they need. Top 10s picking up drive-through for track limits. It's not the way to do it. 2 hours 18 minutes still to go. Really, yeah, going to cause you endless problems. All these trips in the pits, certainly going to massively reduce your points scoring potential as well. That is for absolutely sure. So yeah, we'll see if we get any more popping up between now and the end of the race. Alan Brown in the chat. Good evening. So we're into evening now. It is after 6 o'clock. That does count as evening where I am. It might not be where other people are, but so good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whichever time zone or part of the world it is you are in. Welcome in to the broadcast. How was your race going so far? Hopefully obeying the track limits. A bit better than a lot of the drivers that we see at the moment. Seglia. Jan Barth, good evening, how are we doing, Jan? There's Fabian on the screen, 31st place at the moment. Taylor, in fact, there is where I was looking for. For the Walkenhorst Motorsport car, chasing down fellow BMW drivers, Tri-State Racing. Only a couple of tenths separating these two, although it's a good exit by the Tri-State car. There's Tice Payne crossing the line. It was Lopez that we need to keep an eye on, though. As you can see, it's getting pretty close there still, or keeping it pretty close there still. Lopez and Witter, 2 tenths more traffic to make their way through. And it is TS1R sister cars that are going to go past one another here. All gets very close there in the corner. The Honda having to almost avoid an accident there, and that's going to bring Conway properly into the hunt on this one. As you can see, Conway and the Simtech Racing McLaren got a perfect view of everything that's going on there. There's the Tier 1S cars making their way past one another. The Audi of Lopez does manage to get his way past as well. Conway goes for a big send around the outside of the last corner. Maybe left himself a bit much to do there, but he will have the slipstream from the back marker at the minute going along the start and finish straight. Is it going to do him much good though, with Lopez and Witter ahead? In fact, it's Witter that got the best exit out of the last corner. He runs into turn 1 unpressured at the minute. Lopez still within 6/10 of a second, but we've certainly seen him closer so far. BMW, that was just a bit of neck hood there, didn't, just a little bit of crabbing. The car didn't actually slide sidewards. Out behind the wheel for McLeod Racing is Christoph Verstappen. 8th place. Murasaki coming in to serve the drive-through in the coming into the pits to serve the drive-through penalty in the Bentley. Still back out in 7th position, but now only 7/10 ahead of Verstappen. And yeah, Verstappen most definitely no slouch behind the wheel of any car. Aston, oh, those curbs, yeah, those curbs mystifies me why drivers consistently drive over them. They have been the single biggest killers at Valencia since I've started, since it's joined the game. And the drivers really do willfully throw it at that curb and just all kinds of unsettles the cars, but they are surviving. That's why they're at the top of the timing tower and why I am behind the microphone. It's getting even closer then. Liam not going to be feeling the pressure soon as well. That is two very quick cars chasing him down, Murasaki and Verstappen. The two behind, Murasaki for MSR. A bit closer to Verstappen than he is to not. We're hoping he can get close enough to not to try and bring Verstappen into that battle. It could leave Murasaki getting the drop on them both, or indeed could lead to Liam not getting the drop on them both. We will see. We know McLeod top 3 in the championship, so we know they've got race pace and strategy. Proving that in the opening 2 rounds. We're here at round number 3 for Valencia. 2 hours 13 minutes left to go. Which one of these drivers is going to end up further up the order? We've got another drive-through for track limits, car 43. Oh, it's another one for Tice Payne and QRT Esports. That is their second one. Wow, the McLaren really is struggling, are the drivers. Oh, and there we go. Lateral motion on the back of the car there. Apologies, cup of tea hit the wrong cord there. Yeah, Tice Payne and QRT though hitting the wrong cord with the in-game stewards, and that is another trip into the pits that they're going to have for a drive-through. Sloytle and Larocque still fairly inseparable. That is Conway they've just gone past in the McLaren, but the 93 not able to get the move done on Sloytle at the minute. He's having a good run so far in the Porsche for Gazelle Motorsport. and he is looking to continue that. Verstappen looking to continue his charge up the field. Let's see how close he's getting to Murasaki. 2 laps left for someone to serve the drive-through. There is the FRL McLaren. Verstappen and the Aston leaving more than enough room there. Not 6/10 up the road. Wow, over those curves again every single time. Absolutely flying over there. Let me just see if I can change. Sorry, a couple of the cameras are just sticking a little bit. Let me just quickly cycle through them and see what we have and what we don't. Okay, there we go. So yeah, Murasaki was still on board with, and Verstappen still very much on board with the idea of getting the overtake done. We move them up to 7th position. Thomas Knopek has found 3 seconds on the rest of the field so far, 14.6 up the road he is at the moment. That gap was, of course, 11 seconds. Car 43 waiting until the very last lap to get that overtake done. Murasaki Verstappen is the battle that we're still watching. Larocque still behind Sleutel as well. He's not been able to make that overtake stick there either. The two of them still following very closely. Let's see. Mickey Taylor looking for an overtake on Marcellino as well. And here is some penalties coming through. It's car 472 picking up 15 seconds for causing a contact. So that is a big one. Tassinazzo all over the back of Munich, de Munich. The FMP Italia car. There's another 15 seconds for car 472. So yeah, we'll have a quick rundown through the penalties in a moment. There's quite a few stacking up, including that drive-through, of course, for Thijs Payne. We've got Hanowitz in the pits. Has handed the car over to Jack Davidson, but not being able to leave the pitch yet. Not sure what's going on there. Cian Doyle out for FRL. There's 15 seconds for car 787. That's in the top half of the grid. Yeah, that is Handy up in 12th place. Picking up a penalty. Pasquinelli picking up a penalty in 15th position as well. 20 seconds for the RNM flat out. That's BMW just ahead of them, in fact. Oh no, sorry, that is the RNM car that is carrying. Oh no, it's not. They're the RNM 15th. There is a BMW near them carrying damage. So let me see. Is it white? It's not. Because he's further down the order, but it is one of the in-game liveries that they're driving. Let's keep an eye on Verstappen. No, Murasaki still ahead of him. So too Liam Knott in the Honda. Knopek still running away with it. 15.6 seconds up the road. Another round of pit stops, and then we'll be into the penultimate stint. That's us at the halfway mark, well and truly reached and breached. 2 hours left, 1 hour 5 minute stint timer. So yeah, coming into the pits now means you'll have an equal length stint at the end of the race. Quite a few of the teams are going to be going well over that hour mark, as a lot of them have been going well over the track limits as well. See how that overtake pans out. Oh yeah, there we go. Alex Solar for the Eagles Esports team, their Porsche 17th position. He is closing on White ahead of him. Liam Knott coming under more pressure still. Murasaki loitering with intent in that Bentley. Verstappen as well. They do have a back marker just ahead of them. The West Competition car, James White behind the wheel of this one. Oh, no, that's jumping about a bit wild. Apologies. Sorry, bear with me a moment or two while I just very quickly fix something on the cameras. Yeah, no, we're stuck with this at the moment. So yeah, we'll crack on with what we'll have. We've still got plenty of views of the race. Thomas Knopek, he's making his way still through the traffic. It's been a pretty decent stint to say the least. Still this battle between Verstappen, Murasaki and Liam Knott we need to keep an eye on. Could be slowing themselves down ever so slightly as well. Benjamin Eck not able to fully capitalise on the battle behind them. But certainly doing his best to keep the FRL McLaren ahead of this battle in park. You can see one of the RNM cars just popping themselves out of the way through turn number 1 and again through turn number 2. So Egg will be fully aware of the battle going on behind but can't fully capitalise on it at the minute for FRL. He's at Mercedes, only just matching the pace of the Honda at the minute. Sleutel in his Porsche just quicker than the Aston Martin there, getting the gap up to 1 second. That's the biggest it's been since these two have come out of the pits. And it is Coles. Oh, drive-through for 2-2-1. Oh, that's 3-3-1. Oh, it's Marco Keddy for FRL. The FRL of Racing Ferrari, Rebecca into the pits. That's not for a penalty. There's 4 minutes left, so that'll be there, they hope, certainly. Penultimate pit stop, certainly penultimate planned pit stop. As Marco Keddy is going to very much have an unplanned pit stop then. 14th place at the minute, and that is going to tumble after he takes his drive. It does mean for the last 2 hours they've got another 3 penalties they can pick up, but it's definitely not the way you would like to achieve that. You'd much rather do that without picking up any beforehand. Yeah, that drive-through is definitely going to be costly. There is Rebecca, as I say, in the pits. A couple of cars going past. That's not. There we go. There they are there. Zachary going through for Vesta Sports Seglia, maintaining second place as Benjamin Eck. Not close enough. Not at all. Rebecca then back out in 4th position. Oh no, my apologies. Rebecca tumbling well down the order. I've completely read that wrong. It's Francesco Adamu back out. Vesta Motorsports down to 8th place. Are they still ahead of Lanier? Yep, just. So just out ahead of Lanier, who will be coming out of the pit soon. Keddy is in for the drive-through. Tom Curtin, another one of the drivers, going to be in soon. In fact, we're going to see a massive influx of drivers. Fabian Carner up a position and likely to hold on to that one as Conway in the pits with 35 seconds to serve. ERA have now got Bram Kran out behind the wheel. Conway in for a pit stop, and yeah, 35 seconds to serve, so that is going to be a big drop in the order there. Tice Payne going past Conway. In fact, that's Conway already down to 31st. Wessels with a 10-second penalty, so that might be the only thing that keeps Conway on the periphery of the top 30. With 2 hours to go, we've seen, just caught sight of Sergio Osorio down the order as well. They picked up a penalty for contact. And that could be another slap on the wrist from the end-game stewards. Turn 1, the drivers really are pushing their luck quite a lot. Jack Davison still in the pits for Deutsche Post. Hanowitz brought the car into the pits, handed over to Davison. They've not been able to leave the pit since, by the look of it. Not sure what's going on there. Chris Jones is on the back of Cran, but Jones, I think, is going to be coming to the pits pretty soon. These two brought together after the pit stops. We'll see when the race leader Nopek decides to come into the pits. Likely to be just after. Oh yeah, around about an hour and 55, an hour and 50 minutes left in the race. It'll give them 2 very manageable stints to see things out. There's Tim Coles was involved in a couple of incidents and a drive. Oh, the back of the BMW. What just happened there? Why did that switch off? Hopefully they've not just disconnected. Oh no, Cole, sorry, he was just getting himself out of the way to let the blue flags through. And it moves over again. That's another blue flag making their way through. Lewis Robinson is the car we've got behind Marcellino making up a position as well there. So solid groups of cars then. We've got blue flags and battles for position right the way through this one. Tassinazzo is the car that's just been overtaken there. FMP Italia dropping a position to Marcellino in the Tri-State Racing BMW. Witter comes into the pits from 25th place for TSR1. This one not for a penalty, very much a mandated pit stop. Hour and 59 to go, so they'll be hoping that it's one more pit. Update on TSE Racing. Mark Leclerc had to come into the pits for a drive-through penalty. Managed to maintain 10th position. We'll see what damage that does to their actual overall race strategy. Let's see what Verstappen is doing up at the front. He really is applying the pressure to Benjamin Eck. That gap now sitting at 0.3 of a second. Let's go on board with the Aston. Let me see if I can make sure it stays there. Well, along the start-finish straight, the Aston really does manage to close in, but not quite close enough. Oh, having a look up the inside. That is a big move up the inside. Is he going to make that one stick? McLeod really going for it, and he absolutely does make it stick. Beautiful work on the brakes to get the Aston Martin in front. That is a very good overtake there by Verstappen. Let's have another look at that one from Helicam. We can see exactly where and when he gets that done. Into turn 1, he does manage to get close under the brakes on the exit. Does it get even closer? Keeps it between the Mayo and the Mustard, just on the edge of the track limits, but it's into turn 2, really sends that. The door was left open though, and McLeod, not shy of walk on through, squeezes the car just in front, and that is Verstappen and McLeod racing up to 4th position. What can Murasaki do to close up here? Potentially, as we see the top drivers now starting to file into the pits with an hour and 58 to go. Zachary for Vesta Sport. Oh, Benjamin Eck back within half a second, but yeah, Vesta Sport coming in to take their pits. As Eck rounds the last corner. Let's see what type of gap we've got as they cross the line. 0.7 of a second, so just on the edge of the slipstream. So Verstappen making some very, very, very good moves indeed as soon as he's gotten his way out of that corner. That is exactly what he needed to get done. We've got more overtakes happening down the field. Mark Bayless for TSR1 making back a position. Tice Payne into the pits. Tassinazzo coming in for more pit stops as well. Sergio Osorio making up a position through the pit stop phase as well, back up to 36th position for them. Tobin and Lopez battling for 23rd. Sorry, there's Tobin there. So yeah, Tobin for Astro Racing. Oh yeah, and they've got the TSE car in there as well. So the the Audi at the minute, just up the road, but certainly Astro Racing keen to take that position back. Up in 13th as well, Daniel Remo. Closing in on Handy ahead. Handy serving the penalty as well, but still running in 12th position behind Leclerc. Oh, my apologies. Oh, no, it wasn't. Oh, that's 182 facing the wrong way. That's a TSR1 car. And that's not popped up on the timing tower. Bear with me a second. Let me see if I can catch that. 182. Mark Bayless. Let's jump on to Helican and see what's going on there. Wow. So it's usually the exit curb there that kills the cars. Far too keen on the way in. The BMW facing completely the wrong way. And yeah, having to bide their time before they could straighten the car up. That is going to be a few positions lost there for the TSR1 car. The track temperature actually down to 14 degrees. So it is cooling down pretty rapidly over the last hour or so. That's down 3-4 degrees. So yeah, entirely different prospect for the tyres now. That's Bayless though, right at the car. Fabian Karner making up a position on Tobin as Tobin comes into the pits again. This will be the penultimate pit stop that the cars are taking the 65-minute stint timer to be adhered to. That means that coming in now you'll have fairly equal, yeah, you'd imagine the teams coming in now, sorry, will be splitting the last of the race equally. Although they may go for a much shorter final stint. We'll see who does what over the next few stages. There's Johnny Murasaki going past fellow BMW driving Run DJC, putting a lap up on them. He's still chasing Benjamin Eck, and he is starting to close that gap. In fact, Eck now finding him with only 0.6 of a second separating him from Murasaki. We'll see which one of these two has to come into the pits first. There's Hajo Horman coming in, 5 seconds to serve on that penalty as well. Pasquinelli with 20 seconds to serve, and Handy with 15 seconds to serve at the next pit stop. Speaking of pit stops, in fact, I need to take a very quick pit stop myself. Enjoy the action. I'll be back in a moment or two. And hello again, there we go, quick pit stop for the comms team. We have Alessandro Landolfi in the chat. Oh, Tristan Sloytle there finds himself off track. Let's see if I can catch what happened there. Not long out the pitch, I think. That isn't Sloytle, there he is there. Yeah, so T1SR just behind them. You can see actually one of the marker boards in the middle of the road as well. It's been there for quite a few laps. Oh, and it's the same curb again. So the drivers potentially so fearful of that exit curb that we see other teams running over. That's the second car we've seen in the last 4 or 5 laps that's lost it over those curves. That's absolutely not what you need. As cars still filing in and out of the pits. Tom Curtin in 18th place, not one of them at the moment. We do have top 10 runners and riders in the pits. Nicolo Lieta for Vesta Sports bringing the car in. No sign of the race leader coming in. Benjamin Eck has been overtaken though. And it was a fair bit back, so we'll have missed that one. Isn't that always the way? But yeah, Murasaki then, he is ahead of the FRL car. Eck not able to maintain that gap. His teammate, Thomas Nopek, certainly is. And the frame rate is absolutely tanking. Hopefully the stream's still running okay. Let me know if anyone is having any issues. I'm going to back at the Discord, in fact. Yeah, no, we're all good, I think. Yeah, Murasaki, he is definitely all good, although Benjamin Eck definitely not giving up on this one. We can see the FRL Racing McLaren still within 0.3 of a second. They're both going to be due in the pits. Oh, a bit late on the brakes here for Eck. Almost having to take a void in action. That's going to give the Bentley a good bit of breathing space. As you can see, the Bentley just runs off with it then. The slightest of mistake really can have fairly massive consequences when the drivers are so evenly matched. Oh, the Bentley really brutalising those exit curves there. Leclerc into the pits for TSE. They'll shake off the penalty that they've got. Handy will be in the pits soon as well. Let's see if either of these two come in. Benjamin Eck stays out, so too does Murasaki ahead of him. A few more laps to go yet. We've got Thomas Nopek, who came in with just under 2 hours of the race left, so could be doing a few more laps yet. And they will potentially have a very short last stint as Tom Curtin goes past Marco Keddy as Marco is in the pits. That'll all change on the timing tower. There we go. That confirmation there. Curtin through. It's Walsh who's back out. Marc Leclerc is handed over to David Macaretta for TSC Racing. Remo in 12th place is handed over. No, he's not. There is Remo there. 11th position for Vesta Sport. Cusimano is out behind the wheel for Vesta Sport as well. Multiple cars in the race. Let's see if we can keep up with who all the drivers are and where. Yeah, Cusimano 12th position, his teammate in 11th, all over the back of Henry Handy. Handy will be coming to pits pretty soon to end this particular stint. In fact, we'll have a look and see when that will be. As soon as we stop turning to the left. Yes, 6 minutes left, 5 minutes left of Handy's stint, so he's only got a couple of laps left to go. Before he comes in, Remo will be looking for that position when they can. Liam Knott comes in. Adamu goes past. The T1SR Honda in from 7th position. Benjamin Eck losing a couple of spots. Sorry, losing a couple of tenths of a second, my apologies. I was reading two different bits of data there from two different parts of the track. But Eck, in fact, losing multiple tenths then to Murasaki. So Murasaki, now that he's been released, absolutely flying ahead of Benjamin Eck at the minute. There's Thomas Lanye in from the top 10. Got within 6 tenths of Tanzini. Couldn't get the overtake done on track. But that's them into the pits. So yeah, that's them with an hour and 45 minutes left to go on a potential 65-minute max, or a maximum stint time of 65 minutes. They could be looking at a 40-minute final stint, or could split that last hour and 45. In fact, yeah, that's almost splitting it in half anyway. As there it is then, Benjamin Eck does come into the pits. Murasaki manages to stay out for another lap. Liam Knott has handed the car back over to Jay Brooker. They're back out in 8th position, and that is the Aston Martin of McLeod Racing. Verstappen just ahead of them. Got one of the TSE cars, one of the QRT cars. Back markers just ahead there. Remo still in 11th on the back of Handy. That 15-second penalty really is going to be detrimental for them. Thomas Nopek comes into the pit, so too does Segler. Benjamin Eck already in there. It means that Verstappen will get close to taking the lead of the race. Still in sector 2 at the minute. Pascalini in the pits as well. That 20 seconds is going to be served. There is one of the FRL cars making their way out of the pits. Is it Mark GG? No, sorry, Mark GG is still out and running. It is it Keane Doyle? I think it was. Oh no, that's the Ferrari. Completely lost track of which car that was exiting the pits there. Let's have a look at Carl Van Hoorn in the Astro Racing team out in the last corner. He has ERA Esports just ahead of them. Not even going to attempt to pronounce Ray's surname, but if anyone in the chat does know how to pronounce it, please do feel free to chuck some phonetic pointers in the chat. Pascalini comes into the pits. It's Alex Solar back behind the wheel, or out behind the wheel of the Eagle Esports car, but it is Pascalini, sorry. I was looking for there. Nope, that's Tugbert Bedemke. Where is Pascalini, please? There we go there. Federico Terroni out for RNM flat out. Back at the pit, 16th position. I think that's going to work out handy in, and so too Remo. Curtin is still in there, so we'll see how the positions iron out when the drivers, once they've taken this down the pit stop. Verstappen up to 2nd place. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, going to have to come into the pits then. So there's Verstappen into the pits. 1 hour and 4 minute stint. Absolutely spot on, as you would expect from the team. They're in the top 3 of the championship for a very good reason. Christoph Stachecki at the top of the telemetry tower for the race so far. 166 laps in, FRL Mercedes, all conquering at the minute. Still got an hour and 42 to do at Valencia. I'm not even sure. I'd love to know if there's a way we can check how many penalties, many track warnings the drivers have got at the minute. I think that would be an interesting one. Let me see. Yeah, can't quite see that. I will figure a way. There is a way of doing it, and I will figure that out. There is Mark Ulrich back out for McLeod Racing. And there is a drive-through for track limits just being handed out as more cars coming in and out of the pits. Carl Van Hoorn. And there's another drive-through for track limits. So Astro Racing have just picked up a drive-through. Another one has just been handed out as well to Von Kudrowski for an Altiner racing team. Drive-through for track limits for them. Hour and 48 minutes to go. Van Hoorn in the Astro car. Yeah, he'll be particularly frustrated with that one. Still running in 25th, which is definitely down on where you would expect them to be anyway. And this extra trip into the pits will be most unwelcome. There is the Astro, the AMG driver. He does drive for Astro, but it's an AMG that he's driving. Drives it into the pits and will slowly and painfully make their way through. Murasaki comes in from second place. That's going to put Mattia Nachira, sorry. Back up to second place, 21 seconds. Oh, wow. Now, I did not verbalise this for fear of Corsa the commentator, but I was going to say on the way in, let's hope they don't make it any worse by getting a stop, by getting any speeding infractions in the pit lane, and that is exactly what they've done. So 2 positions lost from a drive-through. Stop go 32nd. Yeah, more positions will be lost. That is a painful one for the Astro team. The highs and the lows of endurance racing. Tri-State at the minute on a bit of a high as far as lap times go. They've got Sergio Osorio just ahead of them, and Junior Hughes as well. They're on DJC car. Oh, my apologies, sorry, that is a different BMW. Hughes is still a bit further up the road. But this is Tri-State and FRL battling out for 33rd position. Osorio being chased. Let's see, actually, sorry, let's go for a bit of front splitter cam. So much interaction. Front splitter to rear splitter. The BMW driver tries to go round the outside. Is he going to make that stick through turn number 10? Tried for the cutback, but the McLaren stayed on the racing line. Sergio Osorio holds the line, holds his nerve, and holds the position. Sam Vaughan, Tri-State Racing, trying his hardest to get this position done, but Osorio certainly not giving it up anytime soon. It doesn't look like Hanowitz and the team are going to be able to make it to the end of the race. They're still in the pits. That is quite some time they've been in there now. Van Hoorn comes in to serve his penalty. That will be the stop go 32nd that we just saw applied there. Speeding in the pit lane after picking up a drive-through for track limits. Definitely, as I've said before, that's the salt and vinegar into the wound. Oh, and there's Robinson picking up a penalty for FRL. That's... No, it's not. That's still not the McLaren that I saw in the pits. Different, but yeah, Lewis Robinson picking up a drive-through there. So yeah, some company for Van Hoorn and the Astro Racing team. As you see Robinson going past, he'll come in to the pits, and yeah, those two will be very close together. Osorio has shown a fairly clean pair of heels at the minute to Vaughan. Confirmation, the stop go clear. Well, 3 of them. Francesco Adamu coming out just as the Astro Racing. He's got a TSE Decone car just behind them as well. 3rd place, only 4.8 seconds down now on Nachira. So yeah, these two could end up very close indeed. We'll see how far back Nachira is shortly. We've also got Zeffirino Gava out for the FMP Italia car. That's a back marker behind there as well. There is Dominic Joy out for SimTech Racing. Again, this is blue flags going past. We've also got another couple of blue flags there. We did have... Oops. Where was it I was looking for? Van Hoorn is right on the back of Junior Hughes actually. He's come out of the pits right on the back of the Run DJC team. And there's confirmation, actually 22 seconds of a gap Junior had to Osorio and Vaughan behind him. The battle going on, but now Van Hoorn has come out the pits. Oh, and he's completely lost it there. He's absolutely lost it. Those exit curb, that is the curb that I've seen the most problems with. Unsurprisingly, as we jump into Forbidden Chase Camp and watch this one again. And it is that one corner causes so many problems for so many cars. If they're not losing the back end of the car there, they're throwing it too hard over the in curb on the way in to this corner. Oh, he didn't get near the curb. That's why it got unsettled on the exit. And the back of the car said, yes, please, let's look the other way. And the Assetto driver had very little he could do about it there. Van Hoorn now 15 seconds down on Junior Hughes. Hughes will be breathing a huge sigh of relief, I'm sure. Vaughan. Oh, and that looks very wild there from Osorio. They're going to go side by side. I think he's potentially going to get this done. Oh, not blue flag coming through. So the blue flag has kept Osorio in 33rd position for the moment. We'll see what Tri-States Vaughan can do to close that gap back up. See if he can use the BMW to sneak that position back again. As we've got the Advisor car closing in there, a lap down as well, so that's not for position, but the car's still very closely grouped up at the front. It is very much as you were for the FRL team. They've got this Mercedes absolutely dialed in. 171 laps into this one. They are on average though about half a tenth to a tenth slower than the Cheetah behind that gap though. Oh, and that is a big wiggle from the front of the car there. The long nose of the Mercedes almost sending Stachecki into the shadow realm. He's managed to control that though. Perfect definition of the esports setup. It's like skating on ice, but it is very quick if you can keep your skates sharpened, and Stachecki is certainly going to need to do so if that's how the car interacts with the curbs through turns 4 and 5. Still has the fastest lap, still got a 20-second gap over RNM in second place. We've got a Vestasport currently running. Oh, let me pop this there. Vestasport currently running in third place and in fourth position as well. Fifth is Championship Top 3 McLeod Racing. MSR currently in sixth with FRL in seventh. We've got GTR Masters in eighth place. Gabor Sabo finds himself behind the wheel of the BMW, and T1SR currently running in ninth position. In 10th place is Vestasport. 3 cars in the top 10, not too shabby at all. TSC Racing, the Phoenixian car, in 11th position. That's a stop go 32nd for speeding in the pit lane for one of the cars. We'll find out who it is as we run through the current order. Vestasport in 12th place with Remnant Racing in 13th place. FRL have a car in 14th position ahead of RNM Flat Out, who are not too far behind. EJ Sanchez out for the Eagles Esports team, their Porsche in 16th position. West Competition Racing in 17th, and Cody Bestling for Astro Racing in 18th place. Sander Jacobs for QRT in 19th. And rounding out the top 20, it is TSC Racing, their Project D car. Just pulling over to the side there. Sounds like they're having some accelerator issues there. Vandenberg just gone past there because he's taken that position for Gazelle Motorsport in 20th place. Sheeble in 22nd for Simtech Racing. It's ERA Esports in 23rd. 4th, sorry, positions changing because of Chase dropping down the order. So there's ERA there, 23rd place. And still 23rd place. There is TSR1 in 24th. Manuel Novak Advisor in 26th place. Long Smile in 27th. Blauwitz for QRT Esports in 28th. It's QRT yet they're in 28th and 29th as well, and rounding out the top 30 is Lewis Robinson in 30th place, and the stop go 32nd. It was another FRL car, Neil Woodward. So yeah, the highs and lows within sim racing encapsulated within one team. We've got a car leading the way, two cars in for drive-through penalties, and one of them getting a stop go 32nd for speeding in the pit lane. Woodward will be impatiently watching that timer count down those 30 seconds as the race leader catches up to a battle between back markers. I'm sure they'll very quickly get themselves out of the way. We did have a momentary yellow flag there. Oh yeah, it's just a minor off-track excursion. From front key right. Oh no, I'm saying that. Ah, okay, so yeah, getting out of the way for the back markers, much like the Astro Ferrari. T1 SR there, just being approached by the leaders as well. Mr. Checkie's got a fair bit of time still out on track before they take what will be their planned final pit stop. Federico Torrone all over the back of Bedemke. Let's see what the BMW driver can do for RNM flat out against FRL's Bedemke. They're into the middle section of the track. Let's see how they got on with what has been an absolute killer Champé Herrero so far. Round to the right hand side, and here we go once again. These curves have been absolutely annihilating the cars so far. Round the corner they go, and yeah, all surviving into the final turn. Torrone getting close. Sanchez, a fair bit of time down the road. That's one of the T1SR back markers they've got just behind them at the moment. So no pressure from the drivers behind. Torrone free to keep an eye on what is going on ahead and try and improve his position before the next pit stop. Stachecki losing a bit of time to Nachir. That gap now down to 19 seconds. And I think that might have just reduced ever so slightly once again. Sorry, 19.7 knots, so still sitting at 19 seconds, so maybe just the traffic slowing them down ever so slightly. We'll see Torrone still chasing Bedemke. We've got quite a few cars. The most of the overtaking at the minute is going to be the blue flags. You can see the track map, fairly solid trail of cars. Very few parts of the track are empty. The race leader got a car either side of them at the moment as well, so they'll be through there as quickly as possible. It's absolutely solid at the minute, right through the field. It is actually hard to tell what is an overtake and what is blue flags. Torrone, let's stay on board here in fact and see what he can do against Tugbert, because he does have potentially to his advantage some blue flag traffic coming up. Bedemke trying to use the slip scene there with the Vesta car lifting off the power to let the blue flags through. Staying predictable, always the key. So far over the right hand side there on the way into turn number 1. Does manage to keep it neat on the way. As that is the Astro Mercedes ahead, one of the drivers that could easily be battling with these two for position. A bit out of position at the minute because of the penalties so far. The Merc at the minute well down the order, 32nd place for Van Hoorn, being overtaken now by 15th under blue flags. As I say, could easily be involved in this battle by rights with the pace, but the penalties see them having to yield to blue flags. Torrone neatly makes his way past as well. They've got a Handy ahead of them, and that penalty he got is certainly proven to be not too handy at the minute, given how close. Oh no, my apologies, that is a completely different Honda that they're coming up behind. Takari just having a moment off track there. But that is not handy. That is ahead of them in the Honda. That's one of the the other. Is it Brooker? Do we have? It is Jay Brooker. Yeah, so Brooker up in 9th place. That's the Honda just ahead. So yeah, not another overtake pending there. So it is just a straight shootout between. Well, I say a straight shootout between Batenko and Tirone and the rest of the traffic that are around them at the minute. Heading into turn number 1, it is Tirone, who is now flashing his lights at the Honda, looking to unlap himself. Oh no, sorry, car number 72. That is Bram Kran, my apologies, that's ERA's second Audi that is involved there. So yeah, 24th position for Kran, so yeah, he is a lap down on these drivers. Lewis Robinson back at the pits after a penalty. Let's see, there we go. Chasing down Brunschnicks at the minute as well. Is he going to get this done around the outside? He opens the corner up too close for the cutback. Is he going to maintain momentum around the outside of the last corner? It doesn't look like he does. He has managed to carry the momentum fairly handily out of turn number 1, but the BMW in the straight line, despite the McLaren slipstream, does see himself slipping away and maintaining that lead. Robinson looking very quick behind the BMW. This could certainly be a case of when rather than if as far as the overtake goes. Robinson 2/10 is the gap at the minute. Let's see if they get through Champé Herrero. That could be a make or break, as it's been for so many drivers so far. Good lines by the BMW. Simtech Racing's Lewis Robinson still chasing, looking for that exit. The BMW squirreling away as they head towards the end of sector number 2. A whole lot of laps, 172. Wow, heavy on the brakes there for Robinson. That's going to cost him a lot of pace, and that is the 787 car coming through. That is not Junior Hughes, the car behind him. That is one of... that's Henry Handy up in 13th position, so yeah, that is blue flag there. He's got himself in between these battling drivers. He's trying his best to get away from Bademke and Tirone behind him. Cody Besselink in 18th position finds himself closing in on Copeland, the West Competition racing car, in 17th place. Certainly Besselink looking very quick at this stage in the race. 1 hour 23 minutes left to go. So the final pit window will open in 18 minutes. That'll be an hour and 5 minutes left. That's long enough to cover that final driver stint. I think we'll see a lot of teams. Well, some of the teams, I think they will split the last hour and 40 minutes that they had. Some of them will run as long as they can in this stint and make the last stint as short as possible. So we're going to see some phenomenal runs for the line in the closing stages of the race. As Stachecki now 18 seconds up the road, so Natira finding 3 seconds on Stachecki in the last few laps. And yeah, averaging about 2/10 a lap quicker at the minute. Yeah, Mark Milrick, he's still out for... Ooh, big moment there for the Aston Martin. A lot of traffic there to make through as well. 16 seconds he's trying to find to make up to Tanzini. So you'll be looking to get past this traffic as quickly as possible. That's 25th place just going past there. The Advisor car might take that 25th position. Beautiful stuff by the Porsche. That's exactly what you need to do sometimes in endurance racing. Follow the quicker car through. Oh, Novak, he's made contact with a car that was coming back on track. Let's see if we can catch what happened there. It is the 254 Ferrari. Which is Von Kidrowski once again. So I've missed what caused the damage to the car. That is unfortunate as well. At the That wasn't the pit entrance there, that is the Joker lap, or the penalty lap for the MotoGP's motorbikes. That's where they go when they're serving their penalties. These four absolutely nose to tail bet. Novak looking for another overtake if he can. I think there is. Oh no, not blue flags, that is Bayliss directly ahead of us. So this one again is for position. Novak looking for another one, pops it up the inside. And is he going to manage to hold this one into Sector 3? I think he is, all the way through Sector 2. He's got that one absolutely done. Bayliss now finds himself in 26th position. Novak up 2 in the last couple of corners there. Not too bad a run at all. We do have a yellow flag there. Boonsnicks finds himself close to his teammate. Half a second behind Lewis Robinson as we see more cars coming into the pits. Carl Van Hoorn is chasing down, and in fact I think... Oh no, he's not. It was a blue flag that he went past. We're having another moment there in the Mercedes. Not sure if they've tried to double stint or accidentally double stinted their tyres, but the Mercedes certainly not behaving at the moment. There is James Williams. 36th position for the FRL McLaren. It's not often you see James behind the wheel of a McLaren. Get back, get in the Ferrari. Don't know what's going on there, but yeah, 36th position, so certainly suiting the FRL team at the moment. As Vesta just ahead of them. Tom Wegman's in that BMW. That is for position, but they do have one of the race top 10s involved there as well. Oh, and Williams has lost the back of the car on the corner exit there, just trying to make sure he didn't clip the back of Cusimano in 10th there, and Williams has ended up facing the wrong way. Unfortunately, Wegmans is very much getting himself a free pass there. That was definitely a battle brewing. As Mark Bayliss, another battle brewing. He's still got Novak. Oh no, my apologies, that gap now, 1.5 second. Novak flying up the road. And also for Cody Bestlink, there he is there. Oh, we've got a yellow flag up the front as well. EJ Sanchez. Let's see what's happened here. Oh, there we go. They did not get an exit, and that was the race leader, in fact. So they moved over to let the race leader through. So that's the race leader that's just made contact. Hopefully not carrying too much damage, but it certainly cost them time. RNM flat out. That's given them another 3 seconds in their favour. That is them now within 15 seconds. An hour and 18 minutes left to go. And yeah, at least 13 minutes before the teams will be looking to come into the pits. That's for sure. That the last hour and 5, at bare minimum, you don't want to have another 2 pit stops. So if Stachecki is carrying any type of front end damage, it's going to be another 13 minutes before you come in and look to getting that repaired. Just looking for slightly further down the grid, Torrone putting in some very quick times. In 15th position, Bedemke still ahead though. Handy did get past Bedemke, now defending from Torrone. The RNM car is certainly going flat out. Wow, both cars right over that curve. It's almost like the problems of that curve is if you don't hit it hard enough. If you stay on the track side of that curve completely, it will massively unsettle the car, as we've seen for a couple of drivers so far. Ashley Copeland closing in on Sanchez in the Porsche. Sanchez was so involved in that incident, lost a bit of pace and track position, and now has Ashley Copeland in the West Competition Racing BMW. All over the rear spoiler. 2 drive-throughs so far for Copeland, still 17th place. And in fact, Jakob Schaber has also served the drive-through, but they're still running in 6th position. So it just goes to show you how important those drive-throughs have been so far, and how some teams have really managed to manage those detrimental effects of it. Schaber, as I say, drive-through penalty served, still running in 6th position. Oh, and there's a drive-through for track limits, and it is Tirone ahead of Copeland. Copeland followed him off there as well, so likely to be a warning, but Tirone, that is penalty number 4 for breaching the track limits, and that is R&M flat out. Going to be coming into the pits. Cody Besseling is not too far back either, in fact. So that's going to be a nice easy position for Besseling as well. Tirone and the team will certainly be kicking themselves. Picking up drive-throughs at this stage of the race, it really is going to be an absolute killer. Jakob Schaber picked up a drive-through early doors, has managed to make their way, and the team, the MSR team, make their way back up comfortably inside the top 10. You get the feeling it might just be that little bit late for Tirone to make any kind of comeback here, as Copeland, Sanchez and Besseling all make their way towards that penalty line. We've also got a car. A couple of cars stopped actually. The 254 stopped in the middle of the track, and on the corner exit of the last corner, we've got a car stopped as well. The 254 is just moving out the way for some back markers. That is Von Kudrowski. We've just come past the number 93. They are causing a yellow flag on the track, so definitely need to get the car moved. Is it Manuel Novak? No, it's not. Oh, it's Chase Gordon of the TSE Decone team. Stuck at the pit entrance there. I'm not sure if they've run out of fuel or if they've had some kind of technical issue, but yeah, that is one of the TSE cars, completely stationary. Which you do not want to see at any point in the race, especially with only an hour and 15 minutes to go of a 6-hour race. Making it this far in and then having to come to a stop like that, absolute heartbreak for the team. I'm just going to, bear with me a second, it's pretty cold here, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to need to go very quickly pop a jumper on, sorry, bear with me a second. There we go, all wrapped up. Chris Gedman in the chat. Good evening, good man. How are we doing? How has your day been? Hopefully enjoying your racing today. We've got about an hour and 15 minutes left to go. Chromedic's Mr. Christian Romano, of course, leading off the coverage of the Coach Dave Delta 6 hours of Valencia. Said it had been fairly quiet, the drivers well behaved and reserved. Well, the gloves have come off since I've taken over. So many drive-throughs for track limits, it is absolutely incredible. Stop go 30-second penalties being handed out like confetti amongst the drivers. And we're seeing quite a few teams losing positions, although yeah, we've still seen that team picking up a drive-through and get themselves into the top 10 as well. So certainly not race ending, but definitely not what you need at any stage in the race, especially in the closing couple of hours. Martin Ulrich just making his way past. Oh, it's Frederick Tironi triggering another yellow flag there. So too Daniel Blauwitz. That's Brian Karan. There is Blauwitz there for QRT Eastward. Actually, yeah, sorry, he was just slowing up to let some quicker cars through. Sam Vaughan. Oh no, that's an interesting one. He's in the pits to serve a drive-through, but they've stopped for a service penalty, so they're going to have to come back in. Wants to come back out. I'm not sure that you're allowed to have a service pit stop before serving your drive-through penalty. We'll see what happens when they come out of the pits. Matteo Scriptura out for TSC Racing. Takes over from Chase Gordon for 8th position. They find themselves in at the minute. For Sabo. For GTR Masters, another absolutely solid race. Very much kept their head under the radar and kept the car between the mayo and the mustard out of the pits. As often as some of their competitors, a good 8th place at the moment. And they are, yes, they are still going to be on the lead lap. They're just about to finish 185. Stachecki already on to 186. The gap now 11.7 seconds. I tell you what, let's use this camera when there is a bit of damage to the front of the Mercedes. And that gap is definitely dropping, and I can tell you that Stachecki's lap times are definitely suffering. At 1 minute 31.4, half a second slower than Nachira. You don't need to be a maths whiz to figure out it won't take too many laps for Nachira to catch up. If that half-second deficit in lap times isn't addressed very quickly by Stachecki, but it could be that they're carrying damage. And yeah, you're going to want to wait at least another 4 minutes before bringing the car into the pits. A 65-minute stint timer. The only real thing, apart from the track limits of course, the only real thing the drivers need to adhere to get themselves to the end. And we're fast approaching the hour and 5 minutes left, so we'll see who does what, who tries to run as far in and shorten that last stint as much as possible. Stefano Takari for Vesta Sports. Chasing down Handy in the Honda, just goes past the T1 SR car. In Inverness again. Alright, on that track, running at the back. There we go. Chris, very much. Much of the same pace as I am, Chris. Team Blue Flag. Let's go. I genuinely thought I was being personally treated to a blue flag parade every time I raced, and then someone explained to me why they're actually doing that. Yeah, I do see them a lot still. Von Kidorowski, he's seen a few as well, so is Cian Doyle for FRL, both running down at the back of the grid at the moment, but still out there running and bringing home championship points. Ricardo Bassana, oh, having a moment there through Champi Herrero. Once again, another car, James Williams. Despite that little spin, only lost 1 position. In fact, didn't lose any positions. My apologies, James. Still chasing down Wegmans there, 31st, chasing 33rd place. Got himself caught in the backwash, double slipstream from a blue flag car and Wegmans ahead of him. So the car facing slightly the wrong way. But Williams has managed to right at 34th place. At the moment, so great drive from himself and the team so far. Takari still trying to catch up. Oh no, sorry, let's look at Jay Brooker in 9th place. Gabor Sabo, the driver ahead of him. Jump on board with a Honda. Good onboard camera. Makes it sound so smooth. Which they have got. I recognise that BMW ahead of them. Is it Bayliss? Yep, very quickly out the way, whoever it was, but Jay Brooker and T1 SR hunting down the GTR Masters. I did say not so long ago they kept their head down and got the race by the scruff of the neck in the top 10. Brooker and the gang look very much like they have other plans for 8th position. 3 tenths separating them. They're both still going to need to come into the pits. We'll see who does what when. Oh, Brooker looking very quick there. The BMW slightly unsettled by Sabo. Is he starting to feel the pressure being applied by Brooker? And it is certainly being applied. Brooker most definitely not shy. He's popping the nose in once again. Is he going to get the cutback right on the inside of the curve? Surely going to unsettle the car a bit too much, and it does. Sabo will breathe a momentary sigh of relief as the gap stretches back to an almighty 2 tenths of a second. Heading towards Champe Herrero. Oh, and that is another Honda ahead of them as well. I thought we were on board with the wrong car, but they do have another Honda ahead of them, out of position. Oh, there we go. That takes the Champe Herrero exit curves out of the equation if the back marker is parked there. T1 SR going for a move up the inside on the BMW. He's got it done on the inside. What a rotation on the curb. Or has he got it done on the rear wing? You can't see his opponent. On the front splitter, cannot see his opponent. They are absolutely side by side as I head past the pit entrance, the start finish line and the pit exit into turn number 1. The BMW manages to hold on to the position. The GTR Masters mastering the exit of the last corner there exactly as they needed to. Brooker though certainly not deterred by this. Again, opens up the corner very nicely indeed, trying to find that inside line on the exit. Nothing doing. Sabo, a wily campaigner in that BMW, knows how to defend. But Brooker certainly knows how to apply that pressure. So close between the two of them once again. Drive through. Oh, that is for the 254 car, which is Von Kidrowski. Down at the back as these two are side by side once again. The Honda really wants this 8th position and he's got it temporarily up the inside. The GTR Masters, the BMW got little to no reply there as the Honda squeezes his way through sector 2 and up in the 8th position. Great driving by both of them. Brooker there absolutely persistent but clean, made as much of a nuisance of himself as he could behind Sabo while keeping the car still moving and very quick. And he takes that position very nicely indeed. Brooker then for T1SR up to 8th position. Does Sabo have any answer before they come in to take that final pit stop? Because that is 1 hour and 5 minutes reached and breached. We're almost 5 hours done of the 6-hour race. An hour and 4 minutes left to go. So anyone that comes into the pits now, it will be they'll be hoping certainly it'll be their final pit stop. I believe they do have a car that's just come into the pits. Bram Kran in for ERA Esports. And there is Longdon coming in as well. Now I did say that is yeah, you can come in and make it to the end of the race as you pit now, but it does seem a bit early if those drivers still had a bit of time left on the clock. If they do have any pending penalties as well, you certainly want to get them added to you now so you can get them served in your next pit stop. The last thing you want, the last thing you want is a penalty anyway, but you definitely don't want one hanging over your head across the start finish line. It could be that extra motivation that the drivers chasing you need to get close enough. All they need to do then is get to within range of your penalty, and that's the position lost. As more penalties are coming in then. Gava picking up 10 seconds. Williams is picking up the slipstream from Wegmans ahead. Let's see what the FRL boss can get done. There's a 15-second penalty for car 43. That's Blauwitz up in 25th position. Quite a few of these cars are going to be spending a fair bit of time in the pits on their last go. There is Von Kidrowski just being lapped by Wegmans and Williams. These two are now separated by 3/10 of a second. There was a faster car separating them. That's now gone off into the distance. Williams and Wegmans free to continue their battle. Wegmans out for Gazelle Motorsports BMW. They've got a Porsche out as well, of course. Running just behind them at the minute, Manuel Novak Oh, that is Bedemke. Williams so much better on the brakes. And oh, sorry, my apologies. That's Alex Zakdal in 7th position. So another blue flag coming through there just as Williams gets himself onto the back of Wegmans. Wegmans really getting the rub of the green when it comes to the traffic at the minute. Ooh, but Zakdal will be looking to get past there through turn number 2. Wegmans just got his nose in front. This is the perfect opportunity for Williams to catch back up, which he does. Puts it right on the rear splitter of the BMW. Seconds out, round 3. Oh, although Williams has run wide, and you can see how much distance he lost there. Oh, and the back of the car's wiggled as well. He did lift when he went off track there to try and avoid the ire of the in-game stewards, and it's cost them a few tenths of a second and given Wegmans a bit of breathing space once again. This battle will continue though, because it does look at the minute like Williams is the quicker of the two. As more teams come in to get those final pit stops taken. Daniel Blauwitz is not the car that I was looking for. It is Ray Gueliu for ERA Motorsports into the pits. The MDM Motorsport collaboration is the word I was looking for, into the pits. We've also got not in the pit, sorry, Tironi and Copeland battling once again. West Competition Racing and RNM flat out. The two cars flat out through sector number 2 at the minute. Bit of a wiggle from the BMW as he gets caught up in the backwash. That's Blauwitz penalty that's just caught my eye at the bottom of the screen. Copeland's BMW certainly catching the eye of the rear view mirror of Tironi at the moment. They're heading towards Champiarero. Let's see if they both make it through. Entrance curb, fine. Exit curb. Yep, just about fine. Although Copeland looks like he's lost a little bit of time there. Preto not too far behind either, in fact, in the Ferrari. So yeah, these two ahead will definitely need to keep an eye on their lap times, given how close Preto is for Vesta Sports behind. They've got multiple cars in the top 10 as it is. And we'll quickly jump to Manuel Novak as Hughes and Van Hoorn come in to the pits along with Blauwitz. Blauwitz with 15 seconds to serve on his pit stop. I'm sure he'll be grateful he got it. In fact, Williams and Wegman are looking very close once again. Williams definitely the quicker of the two, given how quickly he is closing in. Oh, and he's got it up the inside then. I think Wegmans saw this one coming, and that's perfect timing by Williams, because that is 13th position is closing up on him as well. That's fellow FRL driver Bedemke, that is closing in, but there is the move by Williams. Let's get this in helicam. Looking for the move around the outside, holds the outside line, so gets a good run into the corner. Oh, and it's just a bad run by the BMW. It really got that all kinds of wrong, and that is given the position, but it's a position definitely well deserved for Williams, given the pressure that he was applying. Talking about Bedemke, the other FRL car in the picture. Oh, and there's a stop go for speed in the pits, and it's Van Hoorn. The Astro Racing team really are having a torrid time in that Mercedes, and that's a stop go, 32nd for speeding. Oh, and that is an absolutely torrid time there for Wegmans. Massively clumsy exit there, and that is Williams that he's ended up taking out. The two of them have had an incredible battle so far, and that is yeah, massively clumsy there, has to be said, as number 13 made his way through. The 301 car, so at this point it is Williams directly ahead of him here. Yep, it's Bedemke goes round the outside. He's put two wheels on the grass, so he's got absolutely no braking ability there whatsoever, and then goes and yeah, collects the back of the car as they're off track, just for good measure there. The two of them completely stationary now. Williams is back and running, so too is Wegman. Bedemke did safely make it past all of that. 2 laps left. Adamu has picked up a stop go, 32nd for speeding in the pit lane as well. Oh wow, Vesta Sport from in the top 10, sorry, from the top 10, in the top 10, picked up a stop go, 32nd Jakob Schaber up in 5th after serving the drive-through, but this one is going to be an absolute killer for Francesco Adamu as more cars file their way into the pits. Less than an hour left to go. And still we'll start seeing the checkered flag. We're going to see a whole lot more teams coming in for drive-throughs, I would guesstimate, given the many we've seen so far. The track limits nowhere near being respected enough by quite a few of the drivers and teams. And yeah, it's coming back to bite them on the rear splitter as the race to a Adamu in to serve that stop go 32nd. Again, that's going to be an absolute killer in these closing stages. A few cars being overtaken. Bellotti for Astro. That is it's Bellotti that took over for Astro Racing. That's why it's him that's going to. He will be the driver to serve that penalty. That's that one clear. Bellotti still needs to serve his. Let's see Wegmans. Now 3 seconds up the road from Williams. Both of them got pit stop still to take. Junior Hughes closing up on Jones ahead of him, but surrounded again by blue flag traffic. It is very much, as Chris is saying in the chat, blue flag simulator at the moment. With a track like Valencia, because of the amount of drive-throughs for track limits and stop go 30 seconds, it really has mixed the field up. Very few points of the track that are absolutely clogged with traffic. Still got 42 cars out in the race. One car been in the pits for a couple of hours now, it is safe to say. Christoph Stachecki, the gap up at the front now, 8.9 seconds. So yeah, I think a fairly safe guesstimation that the Mercedes is carrying a bit of damage. Again, on that lap there, half a second slower than the RNM flat out esports car, the Ferrari. All conquering at this phase of the race. Track temperature down to 13 degrees. So we will see a slight reduction in the lap times, as we're seeing the lap times now over 1:31. Luca Tanzini comes in for Vesta Sports number 52 cars. Hopefully, a final trip into the pits, got themselves a 54-minute final stint. Got Rafael Preto and Ashley Copeland still very much in the mix for positions, and it is Tirone that is feeling the pressure from both of them at the minute. Demke will be grateful to see that on his tower. With the two BMWs and the Ferrari scrapping over 14th place at the minute. Only 0.6 of a second separating the three of them, and it gets even closer than that through a couple of the corners as well. Out in the last corner though, Tirone getting a decent enough exit. He should still have his nose in front coming into turn 1. Schaber takes 4th place. Zachtal takes 5th as Tanzini takes his final stop for the McLaren. We'll see if the two that have just gone past answer as quickly. Copeland really quick in the BMW out of turn number 1 there, looking for the exit out of turn number 2. Not quite able to find the room as Tirone plants the car exactly where he needs to on the exit. Copeland again looking to make a move. It's showing just how quick he can be in the middle phase of the corner, but it's Tirone that is getting the exits and keeping that breathing space. And Preto could be looking at a cheeky double overtake if the two ahead aren't very, very careful how they approach one another. That is the BMW of Wegman. Just ahead, so he'll pop himself out the way very quickly to let these three make their way through. But yeah, at the minute, as you say, Chris, definitely blue flag simulator. The track is absolutely chocker with drivers and cars at the minute. Let's see what's still going on with Stachecki. That gap 7.4 seconds. So at this point they are losing time hand over fist, are making their way through traffic, although in that sector back to a 10th in Stachecki's favour. I'm just going to keep an eye on this one through the line again. There's Cody Bestling coming into the pits, and yeah, we'll do a little bit of cheating here. Let's see exactly who is doing what. We've got 12 minutes left for Stachecki on his stint, and I've just completely messed up. There we go. So 12 minutes left on Stachecki's stint, and we've got 12 minutes left on Natira's stint as well. So the both of them are running absolutely identical times. I don't know why the camera's gone weird like that, my apologies. But 7.3 seconds, 12 minutes left, so yeah, they could, of course, come into the pits now. That would almost half the finals, make the final two stints effectively the same length, or another 12 minutes. 38 minutes left on the clock, so it will be a splash and dash. Will we see any of them try and double stint in the third? Effectively double stint, a stint and a half on a set of tyres. That is maybe a fairly big ask. I would say fresh tyres would potentially be the way to go, just to make sure you've got that grip come the end. The Cheetah definitely got the grip at the minute. The RNM flat out car is absolutely flat out. Again, half a second quicker than Stachecki, the race leader. 6.8 seconds, 12 minutes to go. So no more than 6 laps, so 3 seconds they could close up to get within 5 seconds potentially if the pace stays the way it is at the moment. The race win far from decided, it would seem, which definitely seems contrary to statements I was making not so long ago. But yeah, that contact with the back marker certainly appears to have cost the Mercedes a bit of pace. Jacobs in the pits. Oh, and we've got a McLaren down in the background. Oh, and that is Von Kudrowski. Oh, the Ferrari really struggling with the track limits around here. 2 wheels out, far too far on that curve. The car thrown into the wall. There's Wegmans coming in. That's Walkenhorst, sorry, that's Mickey Taylor. Where is Wegmans down to 37th position? And it is Wegmans back out behind the wheel. There is Tyce Payne. It was actually Jacobs that I was looking for there. That's still not Jacobs. Back out in 21st position, Hajo Horman out back behind the wheel for QRT Esports. .48 minutes left to go. 48-minute sprint race for Horman to bring this one to the end. Sanchez, 17th place for the Eagles Esports. They too have had a couple of... Oh no, my apologies, sorry, they've not been into the tip. They did get a penalty for contact, and they did receive some contact, which had them facing the wrong way, but no, they haven't had any drive-throughs. So 16th position, and still a pit stop to take, but so do the cars around them. I know it says 17th on the left, but they are 16th place. That'll iron out in a second. Prato and Copeland still absolutely nose to tail, and that nose to tail also includes Tironi then, as the two in the background go side by side. The BMW is ahead of the Ferrari still, but the Ferrari all right across. Shots fired right across the bow there from the Vesta Sports Ferrari. It's got the position, or has it? The BMW trying to go right back round the outside to head towards Champeterrero, or as I like to call it, the GT3 graveyard. Drive-through for track limits. I thought that was one of these 3 cars that we've got on screen. It's not. It's car 301, and it must have been right at the end of the lap as well. The Ferrari getting a good exit from Champeterrero, and into the last corner, Tironi. He's still got 13th position. Prato and Copeland though, absolutely nose to tail. We do have a drive-through, as I mentioned, and it is Wegmans. So Thomas Wegmans for Gazelle Motorsport comes out of the pits and instantly picks up a drive-through. So straight back into the pits. Domenico Bellotti for Astro Racing. Their Mercedes has been up and down the order like an absolute yo-yo. They've also been in and out of the pits 2 stop-go 30-second penalties and 2 drive-throughs. One of the stop-go 30 seconds coming from speeding during a drive-through. The other stop-go 30 second coming from speeding during a mandated pit stop. So 4 extra trips into the pits, an extra minute stationary, and they did pick up a penalty as well. They've certainly picked up the back of the FRL Lamborghini Corving behind the wheel, and he is certainly under the cosh at the minute. Now the Lambo coming under all kinds of pressure from Bellotti at the minute. Going to be a long 46 minutes for Corvin, keeping Bellotti behind them. Williams still out on track, up to 32nd position, will be coming in. Whoa, that is very late on the brakes there from the Mercedes, almost completely cleaning Corvin off the map there. The Lamborghini driver, I'm sure, did a fair bit of tension there. As, yeah, I know myself, there was a fair bit of tension going on as that one happened. Von Kudrowski with the drive-through, Wegmans in serving his drive-through. Sculptura within a second of Taylor, and Taylor's got a 15-second penalty. That's going to be a swing there as Corving and Bellotti still looking very quick. They've got another FRL car just behind them as a fire out with the last corner. Corvig comes into the pits. That will be their last pit stop again. Their planned last pit stop. Don't want to curse the commentator by throwing anybody under the bus with that one. As we've got a car off track. Sculptura, I think, has just gone past Taylor, in fact. He has indeed. Mickey Taylor was the BMW off track there. So will lose the position with a 15-second penalty. As a TSC car coming in behind. It's all going on in the closing stages, and I tell you, the way those clouds are looking, if it started raining, I would be the least surprised person here, I think. That is looking fairly grey and overcast. Or is it just getting late at night potentially? Am I just, is that just wishful thinking? Well, speaking of wishful thinking, Nachira, he'll be wishing that this trend continues. They can't have left long with their stint timers, and there's only 4 seconds separating the top two. Jakob Schaber up to third in the Bentley, despite serving the drive-through himself. Still got a pit stop to take as well. A couple of drivers should come back past, but Nachira carving his way through the back marker traffic, and that's actually given the FRL Lambo. Oh no, the Audi was blue flag as well, my apologies, that's not for position. As Sanchez comes in for the Eagles, Schiebel is in the McLaren as well, and Nachira is absolutely in the hunt for taking top spot on the race. 3.7 seconds is the gap. Let's see what's left on the stint timer. 5 minutes left. So, 5 minutes left. Epic comms as always do. Thank you very much, Trish. I appreciate that. Faster, says Marco Keddy in the chat. Good evening, good evening. Oi, oi, Keddy boy. It says Mr. Gedman. As Nachira is saying, oi, oi, Stacheki boy. He is absolutely closing that gap. We're now down to 3 seconds. So, whether it is damage or whether it's just pure pace, Nachira and RNM flat out are making this one a grandstand finish for the race win. 43 minutes left to go. That's a car coming in the pits. Is that Nachira coming in the pits? It is. Nachira comes into the pits before Stacheki. And given the two of them had such equal stint timers left, you would say Nachira could have potentially got another lap. Maybe felt they were coming too close to traffic. But Stacheki has stayed out. Brooker has come into the pits. So a couple of positions will be lost as Sakari goes through. Copeland into the pits from 15th position. We've got Vandenberg in 19th. That's Hajo Horman going through. There is Vandenberg there. For Gazelle, that's their Porsche. Down at the back, we've got Derek Brough out in 35th position. He's taken over from not James Williams, because that's the Lamborghini. I feel terrible now. I can't remember who was in the FRL Lamborghini. I'm sure someone in the chat will be able to point that one out. Where is James Williams' car? There it is there. Back out the pits in 34th position. Brough and Wegmans behind Wegmans with a 15-second penalty. I would imagine that was for that penalty we saw. And there is car number 3 picking up a stop-go 32nd for speeding in the pit lane. And it is Ashley Copeland handing over the car to Yannick Timish, the West Competition Racing Team. That's their top 15 hopes just been kicked firmly into touch with that stop go 32nd. Rafael Preto looking very quick. So too Marc Leclerc closing up on Handy as race leader Stachecki obviously comes, or not, sorry, well it is fairly obvious. The stint timer was running out, but did say they had one extra lap over Nachira. Looks like Nachira is back out to finish the race. It looks like Leclerc is looking to finish the race strong as well. Into turn number 1, he's got all that slipstream. He pulls the car alongside. Oh, doesn't quite get alongside. Deceiving camera angle there. Handy holding on to the lead as Nachira. Let's see. Is out of the last corner. Let's see where Stachecki is. Stachecki is moving. So it is going to be Stachecki versus Nachira for the race win in the closing stages. Nachira is currently in third place. Schaber is in the lead of the race. Sorry, it's still in second. It's Christoph Stachecki that's back out in first. The whole gaggle of BMWs ahead of him. He's gotten his way through and past Jakob Schaber as well. Schaber still needs to take the final pit stop. Nachira will then be promoted to second place, but Stachecki absolutely getting that done. We've got confirmation of what the gap is there. It's at 4 seconds, so it has slightly increased. Gone more in the favour of Stachecki then. 39 minutes left to go. We've got, where is that overtake taking place? There it is there. In fact, it's already happened. Let's have a look back and see. Ooh, a little bit of contact on the way through, but both cars comfortably surviving. Marc Leclerc making up a position back to 11th place. Nicolo Lita now the car ahead. A couple of these drivers still to take those final pit stops as well. We are right in the closing stages of the 6-hour race. Only got about 30 minutes left to go. 38 minutes left to go, in fact. Jakob Schaber still within 8/10 of the lead. Still does need to take that pit stop though. Mattia Nachira going past one of the TSE cars into turn number 1. The chase is most definitely on. 2.7 seconds is now the gap between Nachira and Schaber. That is definitely going to close. Now the big question is, given that the gap increased there, last pit stop, Nachira 29.6 seconds, Stachecki 28.4. So if there was any damage on the Mercedes, given those given the pit times, it means either Nachira had damage as well and got his repaired, which took longer, or Stachecki didn't get damage repaired, and the reason the pit stop is quicker is because they've taken on a lap or two less fuel. Given the pace that they're showing, so it's going to be a straight shootout. Is Stachecki carrying damage? Nachira was able to close in very handily before the pit stops and is doing so again. Stachecki is pulling away from Schaber, but Nachira is closing in on Schaber at pretty much the same pace. Still overtakes going on. Tom Curtin looking to make a move. It's Harjo Horman, the driver ahead for QRT. Oh, that's drive-through cleared. I thought it was another drive-through being picked up there. But no, drive-through being cleared. There's Handy into the pits. 37 minutes left, and we're still seeing pit stops. Still likely to see a couple more as well, I believe. That's frozen, please. Work, there we go. Oh, drive-through for track limits. Tice Payne. Wow, the drivers really struggling with the Valencia limits. Circuit of the Americas is going to quickly be removed from people's naughty list. Can't use the other name for that list at this time of the day. But yeah, certainly Valencia for a lot of these drivers will be a track they won't be overly keen to coming back to. Alex Solar for the Eagles definitely will be keen to come back. 16th position. Ooh, and a bit of net code there, that's all that was. A bit of net code. The car just wiggling ahead. It is a back marker, so blue flag quickly pulling through. Nicely done. Christoph Verstappen within 2 seconds of Zakari at the minute. Nachira now within 7/10. Was put some 2.6 seconds behind Stachecki. That is a lot of traffic, and there is Schaber coming into the pit, and that couldn't have worked out any better there for Nachira. Got a bit of slipstream from the Bentley that pulled into the pits. He's now getting pulled along by Witter in 23rd place. Let's see, 2.6 seconds separate the top two with 35 minutes left to go. Oh, it's going to be a grandstand finish. Jakob Schaber will be keen to get out as long as he can, as quickly as he can. Zakari with a 5-second penalty to carry across the line while being chased down by Verstappen. So Verstappen already in 4th place by virtue of that penalty. He'll be looking to get it done on track if he can, though. Bassana picking up a late drive through as well. 35 minutes to go. Wessel's on the move as well, actually. He's moving very quickly in the closing stages as the light certainly deteriorating from the drivers. 34 minutes. Apologies, give me a quick pit stop for myself again. I'll be back in a couple of moments and we'll bring you the last 32 minutes of the race when I get back. And what we'll do is actually we'll keep it on the battle for the lead just in case. 2.1 seconds is the gap between them. Let's see, in fact, just how close. Yeah, they're both on the start-finish straight. We'll see what the Cheetah can do. But yeah, enjoy the laps back in a moment. Yeah, Nachira absolutely on fire at the minute. As the light diminishes, so does the gap between himself and P1. It's now down to 1.3 seconds. Zakari as well is being closed in on by Verstappen. He's got a 5-second penalty, but he's closing in on Jakob Schaber, who's been in and out of the pits and got back out in third position. They've served 2 drive-throughs. Has the MSR Bentley, and they're still in third position. And with Zakari having that 5-second penalty, yeah, they're looking good to maintain at least a top 4 position. If not that top 3, I'm sure Verstappen will have something to say about that though. There is the Bentley there. And there is Nachira just making his way past the FRL Lamborghini. Manuel Novak in to take the final pit stop. 31 minutes left to go, so they really did go for a short stint. No more drive-throughs have been registered while I was away. We'll see if that continues for the final 31 minutes. It is round number 3. It's the 6 hours of Valencia. The coach Dave Delta 6 hours of Valencia as part of the FRL Endurance GT3 season 2024. It's been quite a spectacular race since I've taken over for the final 3 hours, and we are going to get the grandstand finish we were all hoping for. I'm sure, well, all of us except perhaps Christoph Stachecki and the team, because the grandstand finish does involve the battle for the lead of the race. I'm tempted to slightly change the filter. Hopefully, let me know if the viewers at home can still see the action clearly. I know the light is diminishing. I can increase it ever so slightly if it is if you can't clearly see what's going on, because the light has massively diminished. The temperature is holding 13 degrees. Oh wow, look at the gaps in the top 5. They are absolutely tumbling. Jakob Schaber about to come under some serious pressure from Zakari and Verstappen. In fact, Verstappen looks like he's going for the move. Let me get the controls back up. Let me find Verstappen. Let's get on there very quickly indeed. Oh, he is looking for the move on Zakari. Zakari moving over, trying to go defensive. He's left himself a blue flag car in the way as well, so they really are going to have to manage this one absolutely clinically at the minute. This could be a bit of a saving grace. Oh, the Vesta car massively unsettled over the curbs there. The Aston Martin closes directly in. Jakob Schaber, this could be a saving grace for him. The battle going on between these two could certainly aid him in his hunt for a podium position. Matteo Nachiro is on the hunt for a race win. The Mercedes driver, Stachecki, really has got his work cut out for him. Nachira looking to see if he's going to get a free pass there. Stachecki will defend all the way to the end. Verstappen still being defended against by Zakari, as Nachira climbs all over the rear splitter of the Mercedes. 2:10 separating the top 2 in the race after 5.5 hours of racing. Absolutely incredible. In fact, Zabo for GTR Masters looking to get back up to 8th position. Liam not ahead of him in the Honda. Let's see what they can do out of the final corner. The Mercedes and the McLaren. The Mercedes moving over, trying to break the toe that he's given the Nachira behind. Is this a futile effort by the Mercedes? And the Ferrari definitely still look at the run he gets through turn number 1. Absolutely flying there. Early defensive move there by Stachecki. Holds the line. The Ferrari still fully chasing. Let's see just how close these two get in the braking zone. They actually cross over. As Nachira going to be able to get a cutback at some point, really opening the corners up, forcing Stachecki to take the defensive line every single time. Is this going to bring Schaber, Zakari and Verstappen back into the battle for the lead? Verstappen certainly still trying to get past Zakari. Only 2:10 separating them as 2:10s separate the top 2. 27 minutes left to go. We've still got 43 cars. 42 cars out on track, 1 car still in the pits, 5 cars in the hunt for podium positions. As Sabo as well still in the hunt for an improvement if he can. Let's see No, my apologies, that's not where we're supposed to go. There we go, we'll jump back on this rear spoiler, although we'll have a look at Zakari's rear spoiler, because there is the McLeod Racing Aston Martin. So incredibly close there, and in fact on the back of the Bentley, there is Shaver watching the headlights dueling behind him. We've got an accident in car 43 and a yellow flag as well. It's the check-in. Into turn 1 again, it is Stachecki managing to increase that gap ever so slightly, but in sector number 2, look how close that McLaren gets under brake. An incredible driving by Nachira, an incredible defending by Stachecki, and it's going to be a long 26 minutes for Stachecki if he's going to fend him off. Zakari as well, despite having that penalty, he is absolutely standing his ground at the moment. Verstappen behind. Jakob Schaber getting a bit of a free pass at the minute as these two battle. The Aston Martin looking for a late move up the inside. They've gone nose to tail there, almost made contact. The Aston Martin potentially causing Zakari to have a little bit of a flinch there, and they're going to go side by side along the start-finish straight. Can Verstappen get the job done? Can I get it onto Helicam so we can see what's going on? The answer to both of those questions is yes. As Verstappen takes the inside line too far on the outside there for Zakari, and that sees Zakari drop down to 5th position. Verstappen belligerently hanging on in there. He's now got Jakob Schaber 1.1 seconds up the road. Zakari, despite the penalty, will hang on to 5th position, but it's Christoph Verstappen. McLeod Racing top 3 in this championship so far for a reason, and the overtaking ability like that is most definitely one of them. There is, let's see what the overtaking ability is like up at the front. In fact, Sabo as well, Gabriel Sabo for the GT3 Masters has got Liam not ahead of him. Looking to get back up. Oh, Melker Garby picking up a 10-second penalty in the closing stages as well, so he'll carry that across the line. So Zakari definitely solid. Oh, speaking of solid, look at the exit speed from the GT3 Masters BMW into turn number 1. He's going to have the outside line surely, but the Honda's going to have the apex. Oh, he tried to go side by side. The Honda having a wiggle on the way into the corner, and does manage to control it. And the Chira still controlling that Ferrari phenomenally well. Gratuita, in fact, we'll jump on to, a bit of helmet cam. Look at how close these two still are. Got a bit more traffic to make their way past as well. Verstappen now within 8 tenths of Schaber, so now that he's got past Zakari, he really is not wasting any time hunting down that final podium spot. Jakob Schaber has got a fair uphill task on his hands to hold on to that 3rd place now, you would say, although the Bentley is definitely not the narrowest of cars. It's known as the Boltley for a very good reason. Verstappen finding another 3 tenths of a second. The carry, and the Chira, sorry, finding himself a couple of tenths of a second again, but against the Checky into turn number 1, managing to stretch that gap out as they make their way past the QRT. There is still 3 tenths separating them. Verstappen within half a second of Schaber. In fact, let's see if that is still accurate. Yes, indeed it is. Oh, look at that curve through Champiero. All the sparks flying up from the back of both of the cars there. The Bentley really using those curves, but so too is that Aston Martin. And Zakari now 2 seconds down on these two drivers. So now that they've got ahead, Zakari very much getting left behind. Nachira is not getting left behind in the slightest here. Oh, and he's gone for a big move up the inside there. Has he made that one stick? Back contact through the middle of the corner, trying to get it done through Champiero. They're going to go side by side through Champiero. The Ferrari thinks better of it. I can't say I blame him on. The Mercedes is all over the place here. The car is going to be so unsettled. The Ferrari is going to sail this one round the outside. This is surely a job done into the final corner. The Mercedes in a straight line though, managing to get it done. Bit of door banging. Oh, it's not. It's the final corner as we see the Ferrari right out off the track there. That could potentially be track limit violations. Let's have another look at this battle from the start. Nechira really closing in through sector number 2. The McLaren driver really nailing his corner exits. Stachecki should have slightly better tyres, but no one's told Nechira that. Really carrying the momentum well through sector number 2. Then we come towards Champi Herrero, and you can see there the McLaren so much later on the brakes, gets himself fully alongside. They did have a bit of contact. The nose of the Ferrari almost kicking out completely, and into the final corner again. Another bit of contact there. The Ferrari backs out of it, opens up the corner, looks for the cutback. Doesn't manage to get it. 210s still separating the top two. Oh, and Verstappen's ahead of Schaber. Verstappen is ahead of Schaber. Let's see if we can catch that one. We can indeed, so let's see. Where is the sector number 2 and Schaber? They're not really putting up much of a battle, in fact. Moves the car over to the side, says to Verstappen, if you can make this one stick, you go for it. A few flashes of the lights, I'm not sure if that's your welcome. But Schaber potentially recognising just how quick Verstappen is. He really monstered the way through that gap there, and that is a very handy podium indeed for Verstappen if he can keep it between the mayo and the mustard for the final 20 minutes of the race. And there he is closing in. Zakari now within half a second of Schaber. Schaber will hold on to fourth position if Zakari does get past with that with a 5-second penalty. Let's see what's going on between the top two. Oh, they've got a back marker ahead of them here, the McLaren driver. Will be keen, I'm sure, to get out of the way of this one as quickly as possible. Let's jump on, not that camera. That one there, there we go. We can see the Ferrari approaching as well. We can see the McLaren ahead. Doesn't get out of the way there. It should stay wide here though. The top two will fire through. I'm sure Stachecki was hoping the back marker would pop themselves in between for the next couple of corners, but no such luck. Nechira is still within 0.3 of a second, still got 20 minutes to get the job done. And definitely is the quicker of the two. It was half a second a lap quicker than Stachecki at the start of at the end of the previous stint, and he's certainly battling that one out at the moment as well. He's definitely that half a second quicker. Just can't quite find the overtake. The Mercedes driver putting the car exactly where he needs to. Good exit from turn number 1 again though. Can the Ferrari driver close in? We've seen the Mercedes always seems to have the upper hand out of the last corner. Really need to break the toe this time though, as Nechira really closing in. Not quite close enough again, but so close still. Oh, well, again, mega defensive there from Stachecki. Takes the inside line, so close by Nechira. Absolute stunning control there. Puts his front splitter right under the rear splitter of the Mercedes. Absolute nose to tail, no contact there between the two of them. Nechira with ultimate control of that Ferrari, and Stachecki soaking up the pressure phenomenally well. Nechira looking for a big lunge round the outside. He's opened up the corner up, can't get the exit. He needs to get a cut back though. Stachecki still defending. Still got the fastest lap of the race. Schaber still on track in fourth with 4/10 separating him from Zakari at the minute. Zabo still trying to get his way past Knott as well. The rest of the field looking fairly well decided. No way the race win has been decided though. Can Stachecki keep the Mercedes on the top spot as Matteo Nechira does everything he can to try and find a way past. Really good battling by the two of them as the Astro car gets out the way. 33rd position they find themselves in after a plethora of drive-through and stop-go 30-second penalties. It has been A long race for the Assetto team. It's going to seem an even longer race now for Stachecki. Podo, let us see the fight. You've spelled please incorrectly there, bud. Sorry, which fight is it you were looking for? Let me know in the chat. There's lots of fights going on. We'll try and cover as many of them as we can. Zakari and Vesta Sport still battling out again. Vesta, this one really just for pride on track. That 5 seconds. It's going to keep Shaber ahead of Zakari. You can't see Zakari making 5 seconds in the last 16 minutes. That is going to be a big ask. We'll see if these two are changing positions up at the front. They are not. Bedemke looking to get a job moved on Pasquinelli. That is for 13th position. Sorry, for 14th position. 1600s separating them. Not much more separating the top two. That looked like the slightest bit of contact there. Or maybe just a loose end on the Mercedes. Either way, the Mercedes has stayed in the lead. Zakari still chasing down that Bentley. Nachira is still chasing down the Mercedes. The last corner is the Mercedes, moves over to the left, trying to break that toe. That maybe is the only difference between the two, although for me at this point I would maybe just stay in a straight line. Although yeah, moving over and trying to break the toe, it does make it a bit more awkward for Nachira to try and get close, really using those track limits on the exit as well. Zabo and Not, they're still battling away for 8th position as well. How close are they getting out with the out with the last corner along the start-finish straight? Easy for me to say at high speed. As you see, one of the back markers getting away. Nice bit of toe for both of the drivers into turn 1. It's going to be as you were. Zabo and Not still remain in their position. So too Stachecki and Nachira. Zakari not able to get his way past the Bentley either. Shaber holding on to 4th position. Christoph Verstappen. Currently the fastest driver on track. In this stint, certainly Stachecki's car still got the fastest lap of the race so far, but Verstappen lapping faster than both these cars. Not really a massive surprise. Oh, he tried one up the inside there. The door firmly closed by Stachecki. As they head down towards Champiarero, more flashes of the lights trying to put him off. No joy this time. The GT3 graveyard seeing no additions from the top two. It's still got about 7 laps left to go. Stachecki has soaked up this pressure for at least 30 minutes now. He's got another 14 minutes to do so. A lot of light flashing to let the drivers ahead know that the blue flags are coming through. That is Thompson for FRL, just ahead of them, 34th position that they're catching up on now. The leaders on lap 223, they've got about a 10 lap gap on some of the cars behind. Oh, and very close and very nicely done. The 3 of them make it through nice and safely. Stachecki and Nachira still absolutely inseparable. Oh, and there's a drive-through for track limits. That's Pasquinelli. As he's putting the pressure on Bedemke, picks up the drive-through in sector number 3, comes straight into the pits, and Bedemke will be breathing a sigh of relief. That 14th place now looking a lot more secure, with Pasquinelli having to come into the pits. Solar not too far down the road, but the pace that Solar's shown, I think Bedemke should be able to fend them off for the final 13 minutes. Can Stachecki though? That is the big question. What are we thinking, chat? S for Stachecki, N for Nachira. Now, who do we think is bringing home the race win? Statistically, Nachira is the quicker of the 2 drivers at the moment. Was in the previous stint as well, but it's all about track position at this stage, and Stachecki seems more than capable of using that track position exactly as he needs to. The final corner comes once again. The drag race along the start-finish straight. Stachecki this time does just get keep it in a straight line. They've got some blue flags to pass as well. Doesn't try to break the toe. Look at that Ferrari under braking. Can't get it done on acceleration. Oh, and that's a big send into turn number 2 as he managed to make this one stick. He's ended up going around the outside then. We'll try and get a replay of that if the battle settles down. They're going to go side by side. They're going to make a slight bit of contact as heading to turn number 2. It's the Tira that's taking the lead of the race. The Mercedes coming straight back at him though. Is he going to manage to pull this one back? He's going to need an absolutely worldly of an effort. As the check-in and finds himself in second. Oh, a clumsy bit of contact there through turns 5 and 6. The Mercedes looks like that is done and dusted. Let's see if we can get far enough back. Yes, so let's see. So this is turn number 2. No, my apologies. That is the last corner. Perfect. We've got this one from just before the last corner. So let's see what happened in turn number 2. Certainly turn 1. The ball firmly in Stachecki's court. But the Ferrari through that middle phase looking really quick. There was a back marker up ahead as well. Full send up the inside. The Mercedes tried to get the cut back on the go, but the Ferrari absolutely nailing that right on the edge. The two of them go side by side, make a bit of contact on the way into turn number 5. But it was at that point an absolute done deal. Mattia Nachira. Some patience, some hard racing, and RNM flat out now find themselves in the lead with Stachecki chasing down. He's flashing those headlights, trying to put the driver ahead off his rhythm. Now it's going to take a bit more than flashing lights, you were saying. Mattia Nachira proving to be a wily campaigner after pulling that one off. 11 minutes left to go. Magnificent comms and replays, dude. Thank you very much, Chris. Woohoo! Says Chris Gedman as well. That is, yeah, an incredible move by Nachira there. And instantly, look at the gap that he's managing to stretch out then. So it just goes to show the pace difference there. It was half a second a lap between them in the previous stint, and in this stint as well, Nachira has absolutely bided his time. But with 12 minutes left to go, thought, yep, enough's enough. I want this race lead, and that is exactly what they have given themselves. Christoph Verstappen. Is he going to be the fly in the FRL ointment? I think he is a bit far down the road. Yeah, still got about a sector to go with 10 minutes left, so Stachecki, I don't think going to be looking over his shoulder too firmly. Gabor Sabo, he's definitely got Liam not looking over his shoulder, that is for absolutely sure. Much like the drivers up at the front of the field, these two have been separated by near more than 3/10 of a second for the past few laps. 9 minutes left to go. The Honda driver doing everything he can to fend off the BMW. Will the Honda's infamous tyre wear be the undoing of not in the closing stages, or can he fend off the advances of Sabo in the BMW? We do have, let me just check, you've still got 42 cars out on track. In fact, yep, they're still in the pits. Yeah, we still do have 42 cars out on track. Kudrowski is out there, Halverson, Polchovski out there as well for SimTech. We've got Mike Tucker, sorry, for SimCheck. Vesta Sports, I've got Polchovski out behind the wheel. De Munich is back out to finish the race for Gazelle Motorsport. Derek Brough out for FRL. Bellotti, 32nd, my apologies. I declared the Astro team in 34th. They're not. They're in 32nd position. There's a couple of penalties getting handed out. Let's check and see the pace of Verstappen. Certainly the pace of Nachira not to be doubted in the slightest. That gap now up to 1.2 seconds. Stachecki still holding the fastest lap of the race, but it's Nachira that is going to be bringing home that checkered flag. What can Verstappen do to potentially close that gap? It's going to take a colossal effort, but if anyone can, Christoph Verstappen certainly can. Very quick behind the wheel at Aston Martin. Let's look at Gabor Sabo once again. Himself and Liam Knott. Absolutely nose to tail once again. Yeah, front splitter. We'll actually be able to see what's going on. Perfect sparks flying through Champiarero. Look at how interactive those curves are. They certainly show just how interactive the suspension on these cars are. Opens the corner up for the final one. Gabor Sabo, GTR Masters, he's mastered that final corner, and he's really got himself under the rear spoiler there of the Honda. The exit is a very good one. It's a straight drag race between the two of them into turn number 1. Past the pit exit, the BMW is going to have his nose in front, but it's going to be the Honda with the apex. That BMW unable to get the cutback, runs wide, continues to take the outside line. And Liam not holding that inside line over the curves. Very nicely done indeed. Wow, that is some defending from Not Zabo. Really probing every way he can. Both of them keeping it as firm and fair as physically possible. 30-degree track temperature and diminishing light conditions. Incredible control by both of them. Mattia Nachir is still controlling the race up at the front. 31.007, 6/10 quicker than Stachecki on that last lap. Stachecki 4/10 slower than Verstappen. 7 minutes to go. We'll see if there is any development in the battle for second and third. Tom Curran just going past some blue flags as well. Van Eck is out in 25th position for ERA. Tice Payne for QRT. Wessel's out for QRT also. Conway we've seen in the pits for a drive-through as well. Junior Hughes a couple of drive-throughs as well for Run DJC. See them inside the top 30 but 29th position they're running in at the moment. I'm trying to get as many drivers down the order as I can, but I really do want to keep an eye at the pace of Verstappen up at the front. Oh, okay, no, sorry, my apologies. It's going to take an absolutely colossal effort. I looked at the track map the wrong way round. Verstappen is, yeah, a fair chunk down. He needs to make up about 3/4 of a lap if he is going to improve on that position. So I think that one is done and dusted. Let's see what Gabor Sabo has got to say in the closing stages. We're in the final 5. 6 hours and 55 minutes. The race lead still potentially undecided. We've seen it change hands with 12 minutes left to go. Slightly less than 12 minutes left to go, to be fair. Are we going to see this position change hands as well? Raven, the comms guy who doesn't need to breathe. This is, yeah, very true. It's quite funny because a lot of my friends do say to me, do you ever breathe during commentary? Like, you really should learn to take in this oxygen stuff. Apparently it's quite important, but it doesn't seem to hinder me. To be fair, with the amount of overtaking that goes on, it's pretty hard to find the time to actually catch your breath. As Solar are going to make this one a fun one as well. The Eagles Esports Porsche within a second of Bedemke and absolutely closing in out of the final corner. Is that a fresh penalty for Melker Garby? 10 seconds. Yeah, that has recently been added. Ademu as well. 7th place. Is he close enough to Garby? I'm not sure he is. They're on the same lap. Ooh. 19 seconds. He's got 4 minutes to find 9 seconds. That is going to be potentially a big ask. Let's see which cars are actually the closest. The Chira. Oh, that is the 38th placed FRL car carrying a bit of damage there. Looks like they've had a bit of an off-track excursion. That certainly wouldn't have been planned, that's for sure. Solar though, looking to make it 14th place, 3/10 of a second. I don't know why we are suddenly looking behind. That is clearly broken. So we'll jump on the front splitter. That is most definitely not. Garby within 7/10 of Schaber, but he does have that penalty, so Schaber's going to hold on to 5th place. And in fact, it is going to be 5th place because Zakari has gotten past and extended the gap to 5 seconds. So I thought Schaber was looking good to hold on to 4th by virtue of those penalties, but he's going to, by virtue of penalty, just hang on to 6th position as Solar continually hanging on to the back of Bedemke's Ferrari as they exit the last corner. The race leader halfway through Sector 2. He is 3 laps ahead of these two as Pasquinelli having a bit of an issue there. Not sure Oh, Alex Solar definitely providing issues for Bedemke then. Bedemke really sluggish at turn number 1. The Porsche driver absolutely flying. We've got Rafael Preto, sorry, causing a yellow flag. He's done an off-track excursion. Definitely doesn't want to do that too often, and that is an incredible move there by Solar. Let's see if we can see this one again. A fair bit back, and you can see Bedemke there moving himself over to try and break the slipstream. And I think that's what settled his entrance. You can see the Porsche got a much better entrance to turn number 1 into turn number 2. Yep, just runs that a little bit too deep, and the Porsche says thank you very much indeed. Several laps of patience and a little sprinkling of good luck, and that is Alex Solar up to 14th position for the Eagles esports team. I did see on yeah, Melker Garby has got himself ahead of Shaber. The 10-second penalty means Shaber will retake the position when the cross, although I've said that already, and Shaber's managed to drift out with the 5 seconds. A minute and a half, I seriously doubt Melker Garby can squeeze a 10-second gap over Shaber in the Bentley. Stranger things have happened, but it would be a fairly big ask. Mattia Nachira, no big asks here. He's done exactly what he's needed to do. A phenomenal couple of stints from Nachira has brought the team into the lead of the race and well within striking distance of a race win. Verstappen running wonders for the McLeod team as well to bring home that 3rd place. And yeah, phenomenal effort by Christoph Stachecki and the FRL team. Spot still on the podium. As long as them or anyone else doesn't bin it through Champiarero in the closing stages. Yeah, the GT3 graveyard, I'm sure keen for more entries. Oh, there it is. Confirmation, the leader is on the final lap. And what a final stint that has been. RNM Flat Out Esports looking to bring home the win in the Coach Dave Delta. 6 hours of Valencia. Great race, great strategy. They've avoided any penalties as well, which has certainly helped them out. Jakob Schaber, just to put this in perspective, has actually served 2 drive-thrus for track limits. And yeah, will still finish in 5th position, but it just goes to show you they definitely could be race-winning contenders if it wasn't for those penalties. The Bentley standing them in good stead, that is for sure. It's going to be an interesting one next time out. Of course, it is the 8 hours of Suzuka that's next on the calendar. The Mercedes run very well at Suzuka, so we'll see if that brings Stachecki and the gang and a couple of other Mercedes drivers a bit of a lift. But into the final 2 corners, Champiarero navigated for the final time of asking. It is Mattia Nachira and the RNM Flat Out Esports team flat out the last corner, weaving across the line there with a 4.3 second gap taken. The checkered flag to bring home the race win. It will be the fastest lap goes to the FRL number 441 car as they finish 2nd and take the 2nd spot on the podium, and it will be Christoph Verstappen for McLeod Racing. Of course, they are 3rd in the championship, bringing home 3rd place in this race. Will certainly stand them in very good stead going forward. Zakari is going to finish in 4th. Mattia Nachiro still on his victory lap. Still a few cars out there, so maybe you won't see any donuts this lap. There is Verstappen rounding the last corner. Quite a few cars. Not in Zabo actually. I was going to jump back on their battle, but they were a couple of laps down, so they've been given the checkered flag. Not did finish ahead, and Christoph Verstappen rounding out the overall podium. Zakari crosses the line in 4th and will stay there. Melker Garby crossing the line in 5th, but won't. The 10-second penalty means that Jakob Schaber will finish ahead. Francesco Adamu rounding the last corner as well. The Vesta Sports car finishing in 6th position. The rest of the top 10, as we can see, already across the line. Liam Knott, Gabor Shabo already finished. So too in 10th place is Vestasport, bringing that one home. A lot of burnouts going on, but it is race win to Mattia Nachira. Let me just quickly grab the replay. No highlights, thanks very much. So let's not grab too much of that. 3 hours of replay might just be too much for the hard drive. In the arms, it was a handy coming across the line. Curtin and Walsh finishing 2nd and 3rd. What we see there in the overall standings is Nachira and Seglia, the two-man team, bringing home a phenomenal race wins. The Checky, Keenan and Nopek in 2nd. Verstappen, Ulrich and De Keyser finishing in 3rd place. The podium drivers well deserving of those positions given the races that we've just put in. Incredible stuff by all concerned. Let me just see if I can tidy that up a bit. My apologies, that says PS5. It's the same calendar. I have downloaded the wrong one. That's the PS5 version, but it is the PlayStation, the PC race that we are definitely on. Yep, we've made hard work of that one. But there are the race leaders. RNM bringing home the race win to round out round number 3 of the Coach Dave Delta 6 Hours of Valencia as part of the FRL Endurance GT3 2024 season. Remember, with Coach Dave Delta, you can experience seamless setup management with Delta. Perfect for Assetto Corsa Competizione and iRacing players looking to optimize their performance. Unlock the fundamental rules of driving, improve your lap times, and take a huge step in consistency. Get yourself over to Coach Dave Academy /Delta for more information and get yourself signed up and take advantage of everything they have to offer. Get yourself quicker and more consistent. Just like some of the drivers that we've seen here today. Let me just see if that is... Nope. So the endurance poster not quite working as planned, but certainly was out on track. A huge thank you to everyone that's been in the chat today. Thank you to everyone that's continued to support FRL and their continued growth on YouTube. The channel absolutely coming on leaps and bounds since its inception. All your racing needs covered on YouTube. All the races fastidiously back catalogued by James Williams and the gang. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button. If you feel like hitting the like button on the stream as well, thank you very much for that. Pop that bell on. Get notifications every time FRL go live, and they are live a lot with a lot of racing, so make sure you get involved with that. Jump into the Discord and of course on to the FRL host page on SimGrid, where you can keep up to date and indeed sign up for all of the races and series they have on offer. Yeah, all your racing needs covered on PS5 and PC. So make sure you jump over and jump on board. That is all we have time for today, though. As we can see, it is Suzuka next up. Safe to say, an entirely different course from the Valencia track that we have just seen. And it promises to be another absolutely enthralling round of the championship. Won't even be at the halfway mark. Still got a lot of racing to go. The double round at the 2 British tracks, Oulton and Snetterton. And the Red Bull Ring is on there as well, so that calendar is slightly incorrect. So I will quickly hide my blushes. And we'll jump over to the race leaders. Race winners out on track. But thank you again to everyone. Great Comes Raven, always a good watch. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you to FRL for laying on these events. Always phenomenal action right to the end. Well, that is all we've got time for this evening. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. Thanks everyone that took part. Enjoy. Please do make sure you enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. And until we meet again, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your